Obinim sticker. O toy no. A dear pan if free mobile ma members na nkata kojo. Anti when na wo ton. Ye events ensue ana sticker ana bundle ana say den card den and some basa. Sano ma we na tonton no. A dear mfaso dear pan e de bre wow church members o moti kuromo no. Faso bia maso. Wuchi obi yere ana obi ged ne to wakunyam 2 in 1 na oda na chi. Na ofemfam no ewo eyaso dem wo pulpit we nyina ye no kora won we nyina ye no kora nti so mo ka se wo se nyina anya yenji ndi won unu obi gine da ho no ana wo afa wo se a wo se no saa ne ma we nyina yenji ntum ye no kora meboa we nyina ye mera aka Jesus ma se beye obi bubugu ho wo ye paralyze wo bubu a wotimi mani nya ne ye sori ya o so se wuru bota no wonam aso dem ho we nyina yenji ntum ye no kora meboa saa we nyina no ye no kora Koju sala beso kache Ghana fo ana we nyina uyi wani utu wani ede hye obani ema obahunu ade etimi ye prophecy we nyina aye no kora ho koju we udi nsembe ba wo we yo 2024 we nyanko ani baabi a 8 February we yo we nyina eye no kora meboa utu wani wura obani na obatimi hu bibi no ni nyina aye ntuntum uma akotre kotre firi nsurum epie ye no kotre ofiri nsuom pie kojo we nyina tie no kore kojo we nyina no kore obi a wabubu agu ho da no so bia mpai boma no sore koye o papa wi na wusu menka wo yawo betu papa wi na wusu ti kojo we nyina ye no kore anti UTV for san wuti a wo mpe no we nyina ye no kore uma oba besia ma me besia timi so cement de ko he fa twi firi twi di ba breman Mirika koye beto waso dem ho an obuto so collapse nsu ne nyina ne se wa man loto number so ntwa wo ya aso den wan kotwa nti omfa ade we nsu anu nkombara emeje foforo no kojo we nyina ye no kore kojo o record nyew kojo we nyina ye no kore Jesus na soma
no se pia ye ntra obobrum mama me hu de yes na msa to ye dem no mu de wa adwumfinti mo committee na mi yi mi phone de mi video from safety ntimi ya da mi video no na mi video impone CID penyin no hu da mi video nim no from no bisam da basama na me kama asam kire no so ne yo anya asam nti da ma memfra MTTU police no kita case nombra na mokwa da mroko aka friend mokwa no na dam the same police yo threat him no oho nti meka da
in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes, such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax, and the betting tax, without compromising our fiscal deficit. We have put in place the necessary infrastructure for Ghana to go cashless. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of a digital version of the Ghana cedi in Serwaa also. This is known as the Central Bank Digital Currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. In my humble opinion, the e-cedi...
Mahmoud Bawumia said, ye jiminti antuma na ye tuma na o ka asem ya kire ye nhwese ne mfa ntuma no o se oba 11 no ankasa e de ba ye no o se oba abolish ye te ha ne enim 11 bia me ne wo ne wa wote santasi awudi matem wa wote kwabere awudi matem wa wote bekwa awudi matem onti 11 da ye te na Bawumia makofa 11 ba ye se 11 ni de ene na be solve your problem nyina wa sada no ho ka che se kufu ado ejimi ene okofa 11 ba ye no ne de oba obetwa 11 nim yatia ni eni bibia fa tax bet tax ana bet tax ni eni na boy si kwa no makotwa mo bet na ma jom sika tax da so motua wie dada yesi tax foforo bia ba mo na mokofa ba Bawumia te cabinet na o sign na o gitum o se o ekufu ado ejimi o na de ba into no ba obetwam uji Bawumia
now. So, and as Benson himself says that look, the Akua administration, the Mahama administration all failed. That is his assessment. Okay. Now, if you have a vice president for 7 years who has been sidelined and things are happening recklessly, okay, and things are not going well and so on. And he continues to sit down as vice president, does not resign, does not protest and so on. Would you entrust the destiny of the country into the hands of a vice president who simply doesn't care when things are going wrong? This is just common sense and logic. And you do know that I'm not interested in insulting anybody.
Exactly.
But if you have a vice president for 7 years, he has been sidelined.
Understand it kind of a little bit more than usually. Now, party communicators, they were all not explaining it well because according to Bawumia, we are going for oil as a way to stem city exchange rate. Because it's an exchange rate, Bawumia had a background on NDC for facing. NDC would never stop talking about city exchange rate because on one Bawumia so the city exchange rate will boil this so now because NDC lose 2016 and one of the things some NDC lose 2016 is city exchange rate. And the NDC no surprising. I know my NDC for so Bawumia manatete say masa oba the city has exposed you. And one of the things that Bawumia is saying is in order to ensure say dollar no ko abrochire bebre na emfa pressure and to Ghana see the exchange rate to Zuntino.
The people, they will crush you. So sometimes you must shrewdly, the key word here is shrewdly, shrewdly approach power. So you will live with them. You don't agree with some of the things they do, but it's not all the time that you become combative. And then Dr. Mamadou Bawumia to me as the flag bearer of the NPP. And now he's saying that one idea about what he thinks government should be and governance should be. Mommy analyze the work and about the argument is a buying a resign. Now your mama resign President Mills. President Mills who the first time your mama the podium. Was say I have directed that, I have instructed that, I have directed that, I have President Mills the mama because I have directed that, I have instructed that, I directed because the executive power was not resting on him.
Exactly.
Let me say, the executive power. Ekuonaba near man executive power. And Ekuonaba memo kankai. Na we no me say yana me blaming Crawford. Na your mama do be nyina yakai. Except that Ekuonaba buy wa huru ni fita. Sa corruption e dey board your mama. And Ekuonaba ne na buy corruption na no Oteng. Eti na huru your mama de no. So he becomes a lesser of the two evils.
Exactly.
Is it true, Sir Dr. Muhammad, about me a levy? That is a conversation we must have. Obi be promises say me ba es gracia make him. Is it true so bet me es gracia? That is a conversation we must have.
Exactly.
But this conversation
no e local no obetwe mu nyina do maba. Yenkuti ura John Dramani Mahama vice ex-president in some kind embraces.
We just came from the African Cup of Nations and we performed abysmally, disastrously. And we performed abysmally because we are not growing our football. We are not, before we used to have the Colts, and every district used to organize its Colts League. And they picked the promising players from there. We used to have the academicals. The schools used to play against each other. And we picked the promising players from there. Before we come to under 17 and then all the other age groups. Unfortunately, all that has collapsed. And so we're going to work with the Football Association to start catching them young from when they are young so that we can train them and give them to local teams. They will play, get experience before, if they even want to travel abroad, they can travel. But we will build the new Black Stars based on homegrown players, domestic players.
Involved and all that, but I think I had already made my decision.
What do you expect
Here,
here?
as promised, to be allowed to do who I am. I think they have all the things I need in here. I've seen so I'm hoping that I'm they would give me time to be able to build the morning show. Yeah.
So most difficult time on radio, was it Nanama McBrown or was it Kevin Taylor?
I think McBrown.
This
I would say
is
McBrown. Kelvin
3FM.
came in not too long ago, but even with him, the fact that he's not really here, I really don't.
The impact wasn't that much,
No,
right?
no.
Whoa.
No.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Probably when I left multimedia and then joined Angel, I missed a bit of it. The structure-wise, the
discipline.
The discipline. You know, how they are able to find talent and make sure the talent.
About what Adonko in a month for besides said now Kwame Adonko TV. Weekend he say Namo Sankre Gua Keko Bomo.
I don't know. I on a Sigmusana. We say actually we have a toast.
The other day or say no because you have a 12 fee. A foot to be a penny 47 Mokasa. Ya do no tea. Enti abatwa afe no afutu a wode be mate se ne titiro ne mrante atiwe de omo beka na omo chitafo nso ya dodo na efa
e be stress abatwa de se de woka no ye afi obi ani se Afia ye beto aba na se dem dika tu mo fo no se be mo na monya platform te so a mo kasa mo hwe ye be stress wo hwe politicians a minu anu mo beto mo hai
South. We will not keep quiet for you to disrespect Kwaku. One thing they make uno. Wake up from your high horses. A Donko group of company has done what? I don't blame you. I blame myself. Kwaku timba 2 years ago into the pono. Now that time, so free fana wo no. Now the yira beje ne car. Now when the Charlotte na Charlotte gan di the same. And nam. Na aduane amatokra na mun yes country. I don't blame you. If you don't have any respect for the man, respect him for the fact that if you are utimon etomao, ka utimon eto, for all your bullshit, he's feeding you.
Almost lie ti entente oni adajo mo doso tudu won ma wenche obewu enche obenyaka wenche obekromfo he wo ba benya sika obi behu ya kan ya na wutwa mako nya da benya daje gina obi sase ade na mewu o nya daje nya no
ebi wan kwantem ni wi be video to aso
eti wo ba ya na obi de ye enche obewu enche obenyaka na si obe da ne kromfo wo ba be kwa broche ensam
me na ka enche obewu me so for kan foforo
enye no go also for Obinim say wotimi dane wowo eba ufie wotimi dane wowo wotimi dane jata besa wo yade wotimi di sika kwa command na akoto bank account nsam de ye nyina eye nim nsam ensam de wa brubi so na no de wono abetena social media so asem de
Timmy Brown we mean ya pa na Kwame Despite so mini ni asem senye Kwame Despite ni wo police upon me de mani atom so me brothers no mo pa ka YouTube for na e kan news no o mo ne ka me fire wo mo love sa emma ne meme bi no mo bubo me din bone no
Yes.
Hey mo ka se mato me so abramen ka ne ba bia wenya video kitwa bi obi atwa video kitwa bi e dia bremu a na mo de no na e ka ma asem abramu mo hwehwe me number so a mo benya.
That is it.
Enye se wo mo so mo nte se police upon ya me bra o.
What pan?
O mate se police upon ya me bra.
Yes.
Me ma me na di o police upon papa echi.
Yes.
Mo friend Mr. Ofolikro no say ye pe bishop Obinim number kro o de be dey.
O de be mo.
Wo de be ma mo na ka ma friend say papa chire mu chire ye. Na YouTube for party ma ka me ho asem bone. Na Angel TV for so
Obinim, me no bedi pepepe. What's it there? I don't know who me who are from. Now me hobon me repeat it. Obinim me can't mean some steer. Sana me home and I say me hobon ma. Do you see a we are singing her? Some me hobon and I'm some me home. You see me the best of my home. Eje we are singing here. Hey, Obinim. Hey, Jimmy into one baby say Kwaku drew. On kwasa keka o keka. O fra hu na me sofo. Obinim, you mean the atamu. But when you come to watch me, Uniminanso. From Sofo. Mose Christo by.
Medidi papa boase. Ahaya Ekuonaba television. Mesremo, some like it, Mubeshe, no mumia Adama Samaye, send about Ekuonaba transfer or bad life for no more. Pia.
Aha Ekuonaba television. Ubetima visit our website www.ekuonabatv.com. All the social media handles nina Ekuonaba TV. Wo video be interesting. Apesi di hun komo number na go screen so no. Ubetimi dia faso. WhatsApp number ni aka ehun asem opese ye interview so number na was no free never topic na apese discuss no enso fa kan ehun be ye interview kama na mo kwa kai so be subscribe to channel no mi adoma no so for notification
abusian for say the munim da me dindi Ekuonaba boaten aha Ekuonaba television ye beda mu nyina mase se dane dan nyina mo se madaje eba platform so ebe hwensem a ekoso ebi frɛ comment ebi de mo comment fa me WhatsApp so ebi de fa me email mu ne ebi de fa me inbox din komo ho nyama ekoso nyina so ne nyina so ame page no so na me hwɛ de eko eno ase mi premier na me ye no anye video na ewa na ya de bia yetwa ne titi a wana e bigger quiz ho nkomo na ne edi menimu nyina ne premier na kama ntime ba comment section be hwɛ eye commenter ekoso ewo eye sa page no so especially me page no ankasa meka ho asem Ekuonaba TV no e wana me premier more of my videos no ewo etime ba so e be hwɛ ne o ma ekoso na enra video ye bigger quiz ye start here na who say eye adofo a omo ewo page ni so no I started omo comment ba adofo bi ti say eye Patricia Boachiwa ed ne comment by no chia Ekuonaba good evening abi batano eba so Nancy Ofori eba so Princess eye Vivi eba so Faustina Konedu eba so Betty Johnson the side check ba ko pe ono so eba so sounds na ye ma sweet menu enso eba so Mary Echa bafo enso eba so ed na dwenchere eba kama pa na enya sem kitwa sanso ene ye Mary Faustina Mabodi Rahel Abdul eba so producer number 1 side check anywhere producer chasema side check what ya na side check de ya ntiase ama na de asemeba producer number 1 on a tie dwumadi no on a boho kanyina sanso na ye watch it enso eba so Charity Asare eba so aferi eye Atampin Buzia enso eba so Reggae Organics enso eba so sanso ene Black Soul senior man so eba so ana afen so eye Patricia Boachiwa Mabodi sanso ene ye mame oh yeah binsu bas obi nso de oh yeah I love Oheneni o se den edi be ni ono so eba so ana afen so eye mame mbobodi ni nyina nsi Patricia Boachiwa Mabodi dada ma babs eba so mehu ma babs wo so pa obi obaso bia mehu nyina maven mu nyina chas ochire chas anefo verse Afia sikapa sister Evelyn boa Betty Johnson Mabodi sa check Mabodi abeta enso eba so na se comment section na no ayeden na comment ne course na me hwe na ebi to mo ba with the Black Soul ho a no atwene patuntum aponche nkwan ne se ano den enti eno a na nimu nya na wo platform so na nye asem kitwa na ne asem foforo aba maka chem dada se da bia mema mo update saa kopem se YouTube for no besan ama ye kwan ne aba live biem ye no mo da so di hu komo aminim se enche mo hu ye live enya asem kitwa na update bi bia nso no me wo media su de wase me ba na me di update no eba ma ye nyina ehu update kura meka eho asem ewo page we so na ene nkomo aye ba bedi no abrante ye o the screen su ya boro no ebedi hu nkomo ewo page we so abrante o the screen su ya boro no pa on abachichi nsemu adekonti aye boro no obeka ni nyina ebeti asekonti aye boro no sanso ene ye Bawumia so koka asem bi eye ne no ma na ni swade hu no ene mo peso wo ye de bo my Ghana ama ejato Ghana anodin yebedi eno so hu nkomo Kevin Taylor abubo bi di ama eye Bawumia enya asem ketwa sanso ene ye kwasi pratin so bobo na adwen de ama Bawumia na asem be lokọ kan ya abuni eduru ho a obeti asem kokọ kan ye Vim Lady enso akasa de afa eye the same case ho onso ache na adwen e de afa asem wo ya ho sanso na ye okatachi afrifa enso aba abonten onso abekasa afa the same asem kuro ya ho ye wie ya na John Dramani Mahama se ye hye boy de onso ahyebo se Black Star no wo se baby odi be free a Black Star team bit magina ho no onso aba be kire baby ko odi be free Black Rasta enso aye interview our interview eye maame our desk queen so in the day eye na ya brefo we interview no na ensem wo ka wo mu ye be kwa akuti ensem property o kan Dr. Kwaku Oteng aba be din komo Dr. Kwaku Oteng Yankopon famisho emi enyuma mankofo Dr. Kwaku Oteng be din komo Dr. Kwaku Oteng be din komo e dia fa eye n'adwuma ne nkofo ne omote ho ye fi Dr. Kwaku Oteng ho no pe ne atiesi ne yere anase ne S girl ne S wife ho ne S wife abayi ma eye Ghana police asutire bi amoyi asutire ne wie na ne fie so asnega ba bonten wo huri wo dwa bruta Afia Swasnega be chiri Alukunti sister no ebuofu ye be di ehun komo afenso kwadwo Obinim masem ne fie kwadwo di asema ba fie kwadwo se eye ge bi ho bon brutal nam se kwadwo ade na akasa ge be na ho bon a wo se eye Oheneba ehun bon nam se na ade na kwadwo be di sister yatem ye be kwa akoti Alukunti akwadwo sister yi ne ho ebon osviens wo sande ko UTV for so wamfa UTV for so ho anche no se ne brother bi ne ho ahon bi ne momo ne ade ade nyenye be di ho komo kwadwo se ne miracles a ye nyina eye no kore henu obi ankasa miracles na kwadwo aye no eye ntro miracles a wo ye nyina no eye no kore we ebi ene de keka ho ene bedi nkomo page so na so bejemre na wanya adaje pe coffee ne ye tea kakraka ho na ne ebebo ejamu ebebo jam a ano odin pa ebebo jam na bibia so aye kama pa ti pe coffee na tenas din na mitwa me hombra sima ba ko pe ba ya na de agona hye so na fi di nkomo ha ubetimi de wadwen kire ene comment so egu comment section na fi so wakire Ekuonaba hi munya me hi kakra so ma film too much that I say ma mitwa me hombra me ba ne ato aso
hello ebusiafo so pesifita structure do for there and then afa ho kodom unique laser whitening e wo toothpaste sonko a se wo de twitwi wo se a ema wo se na eye fita na eye fita no so no na eyi enka bone bia wo no mu bia any tea stains coffee stains smoking stains bia wo no mu bia unique laser whitening product ebe yi ni nyina free so ma kama de o hia ne se ubetu so na odi egu o brush no so uwia na odi twitwi wo sine so nyina kama uwia enwuru enum gen wenum sa into contact unique laser whitening I was 07999792330 07999792330 unique laser whitening or say muni ses
Penifo se bibi o wi asenti ne da ne atopno na ne pabone fonti e wo se wo bambo hu hia na ne papa mu de Pro Technologies ana me kan fama wo ane Pro Technologies. We are specialized in both sales and installation of CCTV cameras. Yeton esa install CCTV cameras in the South Ghana and NASA brochure now fear Ghana. Now pursue CCTV camera installation. We need Pro Technologies and then South. We use CCTV camera installation, electric fence, automated gate, access control, video doorbell, and our intercom, and our satellite TV, home theater, so upebiato, and our water, and our PCB install them out. Pro Technologies and our software. Na shenenso. Say fidie nyina from America brochime and this and papa na opedia man nwene ho na ne bo anso da form me che no the web brochime mu ha ene branch e wo Ghana ye ni mo bra wo bre into sika fire nsem se fanya japade ma wo Ghana wo da na ne tenese yes general construction so web brochire na peso si fi o Ghana e dan plan bi o peso si se wa sha se dada ana afi na peso si plan bia ye besiama eno echi so here solar power ana bamba ho nsensem bi ade woni ye ni nsawoso ne esanso ye smart home abefo fidie bi apese hye e wo fie ana watwuma mo de ma wo woni ye ni nsawoso we are just a call away ne esanso wadan de ma han ana ofre brochire bedu Ghana na wo pay full house room ana apartment ahan for short term ana long term ye be ma obiane border form na bamba ho nsem de manwene ho enna ye interior decoration so wasi fie na wie ana yesu fie na ma no yes sign decoration ye besiesie odi ana office o e di ama no edi so ton fidie bi na wo hokun e fa so install ana ne settings ye beye e di ama e wo Ghana wo behu yen wo mira ofra denta e di wadi a che dodowa wo behu ye e wo ahie ye ne Emalin pharmacy e na wo the same building for information or WhatsApp 401-7570-300 and a +401-6992-254. Pro Technologies. We have the solutions for your security and home entertainment needs at affordable prices.
Ebusiafo ye twa ho abedi ye start dwumadi no ye bɔ no tentem so ye fe ne bujaye na ye ko yanim abranti am di ne picture to screen so yi e kire se a policefo bi aboro no na edie na abranti ne ye a policefo ekɔboro no according to abranti nsɛm a ɔka ene se ɔno no ko beli obi na obeli ni pakro no ewie ye no ana na police ne bi enso ba ho onim se police ne no wa asɛm de a ana police ne no ye se wa miena no a ɔbɛbo no ne ade enti ofafun so video kura ma eye opanyine wo ho a onim no frɛ no se wa de na ekɔ o chichi mu che na asɛm de na asɛm kɔ ade akye afiri nipa obedi asɛm no ho adanse aba ye kasa afiri hu ya ne se wose police ni akye ne de na akɔhye baabi a ɔde abanka ba kogu ne nsa ani ɔmo de na akɔhye baabi ade eye ring bi wose ye hye ne nsa wɔde abɔ n'ani ɛfa no bɔ hɔ saa ma hɔ apaapaya wotimi sɛ ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa na menim police ni kura wotimi di sɛ bɔne kɛseɛ abrante no ɛyɛ ne ya na ɔno ankasa no ɔka asɛm no nyina no so wɔde ka tu nkɔfoɔ for but automatically no or report ɛyɛ saa station na ɔmo di ne saa bɔne no ɛna ɛde ama ɛyɛ apolisifoɔ mpanyinfoɔ yɛbɛtie abrante no nsɛm wɔka ayɛ adekoro pɔten ɛkɔɔ so ɛbrɛ ɔkɔpie mu wɔ police station ɛne ɛboro a yakɔboro no obi ɔno no ɛkɔ akɔbeli obi o na afiri ɔno mumu ne yɛakye na yɛgua ne sɛ de ne sɛ ano ɔden bɔne koro di yɛ paa saa police ni yɛ ɔno atimache abrante yɛ abo no yɛnim bɔne koro a wadi a watimi akye obi a ɔno no ɛbɛbeli obi na watimi ayɛ n'anim saa wachange n'ani facial expression no watimi sɛ wama n'ani ne baako no watimi sɛ obi kura mbie wadane n'ani na ma no kora yɛnim adekoro pɔten a onua akɔyɛ yɛ a wɔboro ne saa yɛbɛkɔ akotie ɛyɛ asɛm a abrante kaayɛ ɛwɔ video nim emre a ɔde bɛto abɔnten video ɛba yɛ ɛm sɛ bɛ last week mo na ɛba abɔnten na me hwehwɛ mu kakra ma yɛ ne kyɛ sɛ yampa yaboro no na ɔkɔ hɔ ma saa asɛm ne si but police ni kro no nyante na no asɛm de nti apanyimfoɔ te asɛm yi na ɔmo hunu police kro a ɔyɛ saa de na ebi ɔmebusa no sɛ police ne wɔ so obo obi ho ban de ɛyɛ den na otimi ɛkɔkye ɛyɛ obi na ɔdismantle nanim saa otimi sɛ akwa nani no left no yese kura mbie ohunu ɔma 5555 wadane dan nanim ni nyina ma na atumi sɛ ɛnyɛ asɛm ketwa membɛsɛ ɛbɛkyɛ ho yɛnkɔ ne yɛnkɔtie asɛm a abrante de tu dwa emra na ɔde na Destr0ys anase na mani hunu ɛto Ghana adehye nyina anim no mrasisia
onuanom na adɔfo sɛ ehwɛ m'enyim ma wayɛ a takrade Central Police Station na police ni wabɔ menwoma ma menwa ide ɔyɛ abasama indeda na munua bi from the wenya police case na car ebasa na wa pimpim timimbe belin na meka belin timimbe belin na wasende me ni mbra na me ni kwai ya kwai na ono ya sha ase de wala ka asam te kasa no mu no na police ni ono case ni no kita obey na osi ye dede ye mpei na mso amina me beli nimpa no enti no okada mu mpei a mu izin no so se mu mpei wona no voice no raising no se me ya obobrum na nded obotuma to do and obobom no oboboma obobrum to the nonsense point to ye dem no mu no ni behavior no ye police nya odo etumi dem tim report mo call station officer no number reporting the nimpa close obobrum to the nonsense point no brushing off the own to me nyamhwe let me say me so call so anya ohwe oka no mukọ koso ma asamdo na MTT unity yalko bebi asam no ka na pempemi no ne yakwai so go so good na yenya witness obi also no ma accident no see no the mombo tron statement no okan ye ho ma yakwai na lafa ne ka yakwai yedru wa no was wa acha no so no ono na lafa ka wa aba no olbo tron statement esa achen na yenya ye ntase nti no dema American ya ye ntase ye kese ya na police yin kuriyara o threaten man pa do bobrum no osan ba samnum de pia yenso bo anum wore twena akọ yenso num na msa yenso no se pia ye ntra obobrum mama me hu de yes na msa to ye dem no mu de wa adwumfinti mo committee na mi yi mi phone de mi video from safety ntimi ya da mi video no na mi video impone CID penyin no hu da mi video nim no from no bisam da abasama na me kama asam kire no so ne yo anya asam nti da ma memfra MTTU police no kita case nombra na mokwai da mroko aka friend mokwai no na dam the same police your threaten no oho nti meka da wo from no to Akua MTT in the friend no na yi no ka chenda omba nam so okay omba dem ka che wo madam da say omba me pwe pa do moko ne madam bo no kam do no hukum o hukum was wa achim nam sa achim for what enjoy the wa achim no che ye drag ne nya ye bofum ye sole no na odemokase counter back no shasi de olubo menyo do se ringo the right hand no che ringo do bo menyo do obo menyo da me menyo o pape mesana send no pictures menyo o kete kra ne modelo sonem na ni nya na ti no mesiafo no wo bo no ma odem share cells na me catch one day me from na catch one the menyo o me yaw nti me hia medical assistant one kasa mo 1 hour one kasa mo nti police ni kura wo fan banini CID no bay no bohum no me say menyo no mo janel ba no o ma mo hospital no be yim ma mo hospital mo fi hospital no was a china e be se nesia na Ghana police otumi yadam na munhu mbran be bia yer kwasisia amia mebele obi na awu police nso case nkita wunsem abade na meya wa oda asachim na ni hia na tiri no etum edem kasa kanta back ebo menyo mama menwa opape mentasi Ghana yel kwan bia na mankasa wode be obi nua wode be obi ne yel nukun ne ba nti sisi an mo voice out Takrade Central Police Station na asem no osi to bia mbo enua do bibia ase
isem sei ana brantie no ede tudwa emra otena ase ana odi nkomo ede fa eye policefo a omache no abro no ana police ni a wache na abo no wabro no ko so kwa akwaye obi eho adwuma e police station asem we atwetwema so kakra ntiminim se policefo te a me page se a policefo enam so di nkomo yedie minim se yede omehu na omafre police ni a watima dismantle obi animu abusan sa aden bone ben kwa no ne ye ya ono obebeli obi ni mumu no ya chi na tima hyesan anim sa no ne se ya de bi a ano oden pa yenko na yentoa yene so asamfo freda eye epono so asamfo freda pono so aye ba bedi ehun nkomo e page so once makacho se update bi e beba o Ghana ho bia no yenso e betena se ne yenso e pense mu ye Ghana de hye na Bawumia pese obeye president sisi wa ye vice president ye VP no na afi no pese Ghana for to abama na ankasa na obeye president edema o my Ghana na Bawumia na niswade hu no pese Ghana for te na omugina so de to aba edema ono Bawumia no odi akwa akotudwa na akofa asem kese edi aba Ghana ho a enya asem keto obubusa se Ekuonaba asem kese ben ana akofa edi aba Ghana a wo kan ye die nim asem kure Bawumia edi nsem ahodo ekotutudwa ebra wo ye ne campaign na ade a opeso wo ye de boa o my Ghana okogina ye simpie so na okodi nkomo se ode to Ghana fo ade hye nim se oba weni no betimi aye na ade ne die no kobo so a akofa asem de aba number 1 Bawumia ekasa ewie ye no na wa oni tuase social media de da system use you know enya de nkofo every fee nsem ahodo a wakeka wo se 11 no I mean obetwam na ono akwa na mse no wonka board no ho sade en nsem bi me mebo yudi na mo ti ni nyina ena nkofo akwa April 14 2024 ede aba se Kwajo Opon Nkrumah information minister Libertu Dwa say Bawumia was instrumental in drafting e-levy tax. Nese April 14 2022 no na Bawumia edi emu atentemban say e-levy no on the church of homes and semunyina eno mo de saf article beto abonten say papa na wo say onka ho no betwa e-levy no no one the church was asemu de to abonten ebebo ensem ahodo amamotie e wo page we so adekunti amempe politics ni say won say me no make say me ye politics evidence am begu abonten no aya na no odin because me nya time esechi enioma mebiri because nkofo mo me page so eye titiru pa o nya nkora dabi titiru pa na wo page we so enti se me kofa asem de aba to page we so na asem kura me kwa kofa abeto page we so me ni ho eye evidence a mabu omo animtia omo so yempanyfo pa enti bibia meka wo page we so bia me make sure say me wo ho evidence and sakwa na ma publish to abonten enti before me ye politics no I don't know ebi agi say ebi mama babs ne Ekuonaba one black soul mo ne charity mo mo bam na mo ne me kasa na me hwe because me pese me enter because me enter politics evidence a me hwehwe agu na hwe bia mbati anse yatimiti atofom ko me de beto se bam me kan se de tie my son papa honorable Kennedy Oheneba was always casting him into no ono kan kra na ko ye ya obetima atwatwa agye me kapre so ono so ni asem no so eti okasa se e-levy oba obetwam no ene nkofo se papa we pa agro wona ni so ana e-levy mu ka ho bi ne draft ye 2022 April ana semi kodwo opon kroma de beto abonte e de na okase oba obetwam okay yentoa eye normal hodo so oba obeye so oku anim kakra wasanso e de aba beto dja say taxes on gambling will be scrapped under my administration. Or say eye chacha tax that chacha so no. Ono no betena so as president na obetwetwa ni nyina mu e de afiri o bone de ye hyebo kwa no. Nti waka we so say oba obeye e de afiri ho. Ofiri ho ade ebim no so obeye. O say many kayays don't use headpan now because of digitalization. Na se kayo ye nkofo o mo soa ne o ma wo mutiri so e wo market. San nkofo kuo say ya ye kase no. Omo yusu pan no ewo muti so biem edi enti a wose digitalization am say na sa digitalization e dangerous ka yofo nso pan wo mapampam na sa no omo ye den no omo ton ne omo I don't know wono na e kan minim how a digitalization no e maka yefo a omo so no ma wo mapampam no atima asesa no ebi obechirichirim e wo no ankasa ne nkasa emu so dia ene na etoje omo ankasa uku anim kakra so say there will be no emissions law under my administration. There will be no emissions law under my administration. A bonnet de Bawumia shepa, wedding or shako or shabo, and the okojina same piece or more shabo connects or no shebia. Say one cassette where you were bonnet. Or say, I will eliminate VAT on electricity by 2015 if it's still on our books. Okay, it's still on our books. Okay, was it 2015? No, a year VAT, obey year free a year electricity so. 2015 obey 2025 sorry 2025 obey e free so na that so if it's still on our books said that so wo books mu a ono obey e free so wo hyebo no kwa anesa na ne bo hye na akofa asam de aba ntia memu hunu bo no wo say I will abolish e-levy bet tax and emissions tax as president Bawumia declares na say oba betena so a e-levy ne bet chacha ne say obetiti obey ni nyina free ho to obey president obey ni nyina e de afiri ho eno na nkofo bi ewo questions on so mbusa papa you say I was thankful ti asem obeka wa hani you say we na kofa asem kakaka ni nyina e de buy ma me to me bona me kan de yipa me to me bo akan you say I was thankful appointed as chairman of the economic management team as a subcommittee to cabinet. We do not have any decisions making powers. But I am very proud of the quality of advice we have been providing over the years to cabinet. Eti also one de ya appointing so we chairman bi oda EMT bia no. Na ho odin a obetimi de ahyem mra kaka nsam ne powers ekurukura no no. Wo fom kakra. Eti ono de ne de na nanu so je na otu ne ho se quality ade emu oduo ho emfutu wo de manko foi cabinet yi no. Over the years ni nyina nani eje ho pa okogina simpie so nsem okekan ni bi na jameke kan de akire wi ofiri ho de twato okura ana me de soso e de amame o say de twato ya asemo the simpie no de onya akogina so e de abehebo o say the depreciation of the city under our government is lower than what we inherited. Necessity a depreciation yankofo ka ho asem na city ho anhwan na de no o say ono under the government no e wo form snade omo ba beto ye Bawumia nsem wo de atodwa eno no na we na ye papa Bawumia kasa wie ye no yankoni yankotie na no ankasa asem tenkro potin akoka ye kofa we nyina de bae no owura Bawumia ankasa kasa yankotie asem a owura Bawumia kan ya na wia na mede nsem ahodo nkofo aka afa ne nsem hu no obetim de comment aba me hu se comment section why shepa manfo comment brutal me hu bibia yenkotie nsem a owura Bawumia kan embrace.
The new policies that I am proposing to implement in 2025 will give us the fiscal space to eliminate some taxes such as the proposed VAT on electricity, if they are still on the books, the emissions tax and the betting tax without compromising our fiscal deficit. we have put in place the necessary infrastructure for Ghana to go cashless. Recently, the Bank of Ghana has completed a pilot of a digital version of the Ghana cedi in Serwaa. This is known as the Central Bank Digital Currency, or the e-cedi. The e-cedi is designed to work online and offline and will be launched by the Bank of Ghana in due course. In my humble opinion, the e-cedi, with appropriate privacy protections, will be the ultimate weapon in our fight against corruption, because it will provide transparency, reduce the risk of fraud, robbery, tax avoidance, and money laundering, since it will be easy to track the movement of money and identify suspicious activity. The e-cedi will quicken the pace of Ghana's move towards a cashless or near cashless society. Ladies and gentlemen, to move towards a cashless economy, however, we have to encourage the population to use electronic channels of payment. To accomplish this, under my administration, there will be no taxes on digital payments. The e-levy will therefore be abolished.
Bawumia nsɛm wɔ kan yɛ VP Vice President nsɛm wɔ kan yɛ ni. Na when wakasa wie yɛ ni nyinaa no, ana nkɔfo wɔ mo nso ɛyɛ Ghana de hyɛ sɛ papa, yɛ ma wo nkasa na wo nkɔ tra saa kwa. Ebi ni hwan, abrante efe ni Kevin Taylor, wɔ ne tua so no de papa mu osu ni mu obon dada. Ɛna wɔ start yi papa yi ho nsɛm na wo kan ase sei, ana wabɛka ase sei, ana aka ase sei, ana wabɛka ase sei, ɛna wɔ ne tua ɔno wɔ kanso wɔ de anoɔden ne anoɔyɛ abɛsan fra san asɛm no koraa. Utim se na asɛm wɔ kemu wɔ de pa o, ɔbɛka koraa saa asɛ asɛm no. Kevin Taylor efa phone anasa camera scene anim odi nkomo no ene wo se papa wo na wo se obeyi e-levy any bed tax any emissions tax as president no ene ma ye ni nkomo ha ene wo se wo na aka we 2022 ana yesi den na afiri aba abonten be ka se di a kire yenkotie nsɛm a Kevin Taylor o ni tuo no obo mo dada ono so di tu
levy by or say I will abolish e-levy, bed tax and emission tax as president. Or see a tumana. Tiabia. Mahmoud Bawumia said, Ye Jimintian tumana near tumana or Kasim Yachre, Yanshas fan tumano, or so ba e-levy no Rankasa at the bayano, or so ba abolish it. Yatiha, near him e-levy bia. Meno ne wow to Santasia Udimatem. Wow to Cabria Udimatem, wow to Bakwa Udimatem. Onti e-levy da. Yatiana Bawumia Makofa e-levy by. Say e-levy need the end the best of your problem, na. Wasa dan no ka se kufu ado Jimmy e na okofa e-levy buy no de oba obetwa e-levy nim yatia ne ani bibia fa no tax bet tax ana bet tax ne ani na boy sikwa no makotwa mo bet na ma jom sika tax da so motua wie dada yesi tax foforo bi aba mo na mokofa ba omi ate cabinet na o sign na o gitum o se o ekufu ado Jimmy on de buy nti ono ba obetwam ujiba omi adi o se o inwusie tax aba na nsen a emission tax ye ko discuss na cabinet o not obi and ordin in Sasha Asie, or by or so, Montumana, Obetrum, or just some with Jimmy. Something more to politics, Nasi. Mahmoud Bawumia, time a passy e-levy, Matisse MPP4 can see me, Bawumia, na e-levy on support, Shadewaha. Yeah, the fact Nina Chemo. This is the information minister of Ghana. His name is Kojo Oponkrum. Kojo Oponkruma, ye passy e-levy no, dear no bekanya, when a buying. Dian ano on the customer buying eco cabinet meeting or team or say Bawumia was instrumental in drafting e-levy tax. Kojo Ponkruma yenyom ko cabinet meeting in on the customer buying or Babonti be catch say Mahmoud Bawumia vice president no ye drafting policy e-levy abeje taxes we hono or no na draft ye then Bawumia be catch say Kuford with Jimmy or the e-levy aba or no ba obetwam Bawumia to solve a problem.
Kevin Taylor nsɛm wɔ de tu dwa ani na Kevin Taylor wie ne nsɛm wɔ keke nyina no na menim sɛ nka to atwa nka Ghana fo ebu ɔmɛtwa papa kakra na nka asɛm de na asɛm kɔ yehu ya sɛ kwasi prata te asim kwasi prata so no kasa bɔkɔ no Bawumia me I know Bawumia for a while long na kasa bɔkɔ no wɔ bo japa na kwasi prata de nsɛm aba betoto hɔ abɛkyerɛkyerɛ nsɛm mu ankasa kyerɛ Ghana fo sɛ papa we ɔka sɛ yɛ nkwara na awodi adwene bedi agro Untimi mfa ya adwene ni agoro sa. Kwasi Pratt na ekasa you. Oso untimi mfa o ma adwene ni agoro. Untimi nkotutu aboa ho mekyerom sa aboa bani. Enya de wono Kwasi Pratt so te ase na onim politics munim sem ekosu no beti ase da. Yenko tie nsem a owura Kwasi Pratt enso kae ebre ote se oso betwa 11 mu na no woka team no ho no ntimi hye mra ena ono advice no koma ye ne ade no yenko tie nsem a Kwasi Pratt eka
no that the sitting president is somebody that I've known for some time. In fact, I think that I can risk calling him my friend. And I don't like what is being done to him at all. By his own party people. By people around his own vice president and so on. When anything goes wrong, Bawumia then becomes an assistant headmistress. He becomes an aplanke. Then he emphasizes the fact that he's a vice president and not the president. When something goes right, he's the first to claim it. Why are you doing this to Nana Akufo-Addo? What has Nana Akufo-Addo done to you people? This man has led your party and government for 8 years and is about to retire. And all of a sudden, we are all running away from him like a plague. I pity him. I wonder what will happen to him when he's left the presidency. Because even when he's sitting on the seat as president, look at what his people are doing to him. It's most unfortunate. And to a very large extent, I think it is irresponsible to heap all the blame on Nana Akufo-Addo for everybody else to take cover. Now listen to me, my brother. Let's take the aplanke example. Okay. You are an aplanke on a trotro bus, which is going to Nsawam. Okay? When the bus gets to Cúrese Junction, the driver gets down and takes a bottle of appetition. And the driver comes staggering into the car. Of course, if you're a good aplanke, you should know that the possibility of all of you on the bus dying before you get to Nsawam is very high. If this aplanke sits on the bus, does not complain, does not do anything about the circumstances, and the car crashes at Ofanko Junction, what kind of aplanke is that? Would you give your car to that aplanke to drive? So this aplanke business, drop it. Let us assume that what is being said about Vice President Bawumia is true. That he was only a vice president, he was not in the driving seat. As Bonsu says, he was sidelined. Let us assume that it is true. Okay. Now, let us also take into account the fact that if everything went well, he would not be running away from some of the policies and actions that they have taken. He would have claimed credit, you understand? It is only because some things did not go well that he is docking, you understand? Now, so, and as Bonsu himself says that, look, the Akufo-Addo administration, the Mahama administration all failed. That is his assessment. Okay. Now, if you have a vice president for 7 years who has been sidelined and things are happening recklessly, okay, and things are not going well and so on, and he continues to sit down as vice president, does not resign, does not protest and so on, would you entrust the destiny of the country into the hands of a vice president who simply doesn't care when things are going wrong? This is just common sense and logic. And you do know that I'm not interested in insulting anybody.
Exactly.
But if you have a vice president for 7 years, he has been sidelined. He comes up with policies which are to be implemented by ministers. The ministers don't do it. What he says, nobody takes, and so on. And he comfortably sits there for 7 years, waiting for 8 years to come, so that we can get rid of his president, for him to become president. Is that a good vice president? Tell me. Is that a good vice president that he sat down in all of this? He was sidelined. He gave directions which were ignored and so on. for 7 years, in fact, more than 7 years. And then in the end, he turns around and says, yes, I knew things were bad. I could have done something about it. I was sidelined, and I stayed there quietly. I refused to resign. Make me the president, and I'll do wonders. Incredible. Put that aside too, my brother. Put that aside. And listen, very, very carefully. Look, and my brother Titus, I can't blame him. In fact, I couldn't have expected something else from him. This claim that...
My name is Titus Glover.
Oh, okay. Sorry, my brother Titus Glover. My very good brother. He's been my friend for many years, you understand. But listen, he says that when Bawumia's name is mentioned, people panic. Is that true? I've checked all the posters, and I'm sure you have checked. As for him, I cannot assume that he has checked. If he thinks that everybody is afraid of Bawumia, he obviously hasn't checked. You understand? But check all the posters, including those who predicted victory for the new patriotic party in the 2020 elections. Foreign and local. Check. The highest rating Bawumia has gotten from polling is around 38% of total votes. If I lie, tell me. The highest. Some place him as low as 28%.
Which election are you talking about?
The 2024 elections. If you like, Google Global Info Analytics, which I think is the most credible from my own study of their work, so I think it's the most credible. Google it right now and see the ratings. So how come? Yeah, how come that in the face of these ratings, anybody will panic at the mention of Bawumia? I can't understand. Maybe I'm daft. But I can't understand it. There's no panic. In fact, I will tell you from conversations that I'm having with people around, the political circles and inside the political circles, I can tell you for sure that opponents of Bawumia are so very happy that he is the one who was elected as your flag bearer. If somebody else had been elected, I'm sure that there would have been some panic, reasonable panic and so on. By him, they are so very happy that it is him that they are going to contest with. Okay. Now, for those who want to understand the status of His Excellency, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, I do not refer them to the NDC, I do not refer them to newspapers and so on. I refer them to his own web page. Master, open his web page. See how he has described himself on his own web page. If you read his web page, he clearly claims that he is in charge of the management of the economy. He's in charge of policy formulation as far as the economy is concerned. He's in charge of the management of the economy. He claims to be in the driving seat of national policy formulation and implementation. Go to his webpage. It's there. Now, how can you describe yourself in those terms on your own webpage, turn around and now look into your face and say, I was only an apprentice, I was not the headmistress, I was the assistant headmistress, and so on. How can you do that? Which is true. What is on your webpage, or what you are telling us, through other means and so on. So, look, we should be clear in our minds. In fact, it is not for us even to be clear in our minds. Dr. Bawumia should be clear in his mind whether he's an apprentice or the driver. He cannot be the driver in the morning, an apprentice in the afternoon, and in the evening, a passenger. He has to define for himself what he is. And from all the statements that have been made by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo at least was honest in many respects. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo looked us in the face, the Ghanaian people in the face, and said, look, I'm a lawyer. I think that I know the law. I've been involved in this country's politics for some time and so on. But I need special skills to manage the economy. And from inference, he was telling us that he didn't have the skills to manage the economy. And so it is for this reason that I have chosen His Excellency Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia as my Vice President. His sole responsibility is to manage the economy. His sole responsibility is to move us forward. Nana Dankwa Akufo said these things publicly. He didn't hide them. So clearly, his only mandate was the management of the national economy. And he told us that he was in charge. In many ways, he told us that he was in charge. Why are they claiming now, and he claiming now, that he's not in charge? What has happened? Did the car hit a ditch at Ofanko Junction? The car he's driving, did it hit a ditch at Ofanko Junction? What is happening? My brother, look, we may not hold doctorates in economics. Mm-hmm. We may not be vice president and vice presidential candidates elect and so on. But master, all of us have some gumption. At least we can understand simple English. We all have some gumption, we can understand simple English. Let nobody play with us. Mm-hmm. Because we will not allow that to happen. Nobody can play with us. Mm-hmm. You understand?
Ura kwasi prat in some wo kan do twa ani. Na kwasi prat kasa wie no. Ana eja enkofo ahodo so medin kaka chese Ghana semte nya Ghana for be kasa. Vim lady enso etena ase. Eno ase menso man kire ma adwene dia na kame ye kokon kora. Na nsenso wo sta ye programs ewo eye stream yard na one nkofo edi oman ho nkomo ne ade ade. Na vim lady eti nsem a ekoso nyine no ase ma menso kire ma adwene fa ho. Ana vim lady nso so camera see no so. Eno de pen ne paper to ho. Eno so menso medin komo dia fa Bawumia ho. Se sansem ya wo kikan opeso wa kire sen sansem we de nka wona abo kan ne bitimi aka wona wona abo kan de nka wo kan wontimi ngire ne hwe ba vp na ka say you ho ne ne asem no anyway yanko yadim eti vim lady nsem wo kikan ye no efa eye Bawumia nsem wo akotena simpims no wo kikan no yankuti emra sisia.
Although you can still see the equity because Bawumia started here no na a lot of Niama or canning in us, we running 24 hours. Digitization 24 hours. Passport office, ASA, where you send this 24 hours. Yeah, wait 24 hours. Those ones you could tell sir, is directed at Bahama. But it's not surprising. This is the style that has been the style between Bawumia and Mahama all the way from 2012, 2016, FPC 2020. It has always been on a way incompetent. And Mahama to me, and I say it has always been that. So I'm not surprised about the initial one. No? And they said, yeah, as open Mahama Ekutia say, yeah, 24 hours, so but then the key things are a complete breakaway from President Ekuonaba position, which is what the Bawumia can say. Electricity now, more the VAT. Bawumia say, on only vision you be here for. That's a complete departure from the Nanado one. I think that Sanyama way or Kayena, for instance, he spoke about Minerals Bank. Minerals Development Bank, which is something different. It has never been mentioned under President Ekuonaba. Again, that is something that I feel that Bawumia Peswak to show that he's different from Nanado. Because you said, over all these years, accusation back on NDC for Bawumia and so on and so on Nanado. When I hear vice president, when I hear chairman of economic management team, there are not mistakes, be your mistake. But you can see it, all these things are Bawumia cannot. Of a sort, I am different. Perhaps Bawumia person dictionary say that no can offer and another a buying or two electricity no his hand was not in it. Would it see any can you papa see? On only time a VAT on electricity will be removed by construction. I mean, how I deduce it is that Bawumia person say VAT no and another a buying their two electricity no cross on one Bawumia on the get. This is what Bawumia Crawford has been saying from beginning. Say, and you have the Kosovo MPP headed by Nanado Bawumia and only Yadi, but politically, when you say Bawumia cannot come out and say that new Abai Yadi. Because if you look at even Mahama, Atamel Sabai, a lot of the things that went on in Atamel Sabai, at that time, Mahama was vice president and head of economic management team. But Mahama was not aware. I can tell you for a fact. Busa Kokwa, will tell you for a fact. under Tamil's government, there were so many things Mahama didn't know. They did not make him party to it. And the politics now be and I say, but the truth of the matter is, President Otiakonya so why you vice president sabotage. I mean, the history of Ghana under Rawlings, we saw an attack when we are Obinim, but under Rawlings, there was a vice president called Nkensin Aka. He disagreed so vehemently with the president Rawlings at the time, to the extent of Aka. Why not to tell Mahama vice presidential a position be? And I want to say Bawumia he came out openly to disagree with Rawlings at a time when everybody was scared of Rawlings. And what did he get? According to Anwar Aka, we don't know if it is true, but according to Aka, there were occasions when his disagreement with Rawlings even meant Yamahando and Kaka, ABC and Bona, Suma was not in cabinet, but these are reports. Obia when you kakre bia or 40 and 40. Onim said these are reports that we all heard at the time. Yes, but we heard it. Say, I can't say Rawlings and Botasum almost here so on his shoulder. ABC and Bono. So Bawumia by this is trying to say that Esnome and Esnome Nanado. Nanado near more yani bebreno may agree, but politics in Tino. Me to me, my bonse because of the kind of politically suicidal. ABC that. Now, even Mahama and Atamos could not openly disagree with him. A lot of the things here, journalists, funny, I didn't hear him say. The other person, even Kwaku team, no, we're fighting Mahama. But some of me, Kwaku, will come and say some things. If you, but on him said there was a big gap between the Mahama vice president and his team and Atamos and his team. To the extent that no more Mahama and Popo and so that is just to show you what Bawumia was trying to communicate. Then Bawumia said that jobs, national service, clearly again, that is one thing about Bawumia person on the threat say. So me and so Nanado or see national service optional says Onoba or no optional, which is that by force or national service. Say who university now a Juma and by force or national service. And he says according to his vision, this is how Obetimi attract employers. No employers because approach America and UK school for the school there job first was school and the general upon the fat workers but according to Bawumia in strategy national service in company the brain person because himself national service anyway. Again, this is something that he says that making national service optional is also to show you say Esnome and Esnome Nanado. His team has really worked to the team normal game by him. Make the other part, no, but I think you see, Brofuse the Ghana yati diao. Brofuse very juicy policies. Any other so say see Bawumia, you know, it is incumbent on Bawumia team say, persuasive. No man can't Ghana for not to Ghana for dream. Say yes, indeed, we are here to do the job, and we are here to persuade you. Say we can do the job. Because Monday they can send me Chelsea. I know I said I'm going to be upon the second time and I know why he before us have problem. No, say so baby incumbent case over America Joe Biden. No whole channel say incumbent case. Ebi yellow. Ebi never see MP before no. So now also we double the work to convince Ghana voters or my because jobs be anywhere. And some of the things about Bawumia can Galamsey Asemia. Osha 2016 in 2020 Galamsey was a key issue. Before Luzu, most of the Galamsey areas. Bawumia say, Omoba, Omodi Galamsey Krabeka TV, no, I'm certificate. Now, what they will do is abandon mines, no mines now, Omotum go there now. Omo for say, abandon, no magic. Now, the Ama Galamsey for no man regulated into what TV, what skills now, and human certificate. Now, they are no, Omodi abandoned mines, Galamsey for now, or my Juma. As a way to regulate them again. This is something that is completely opposite the Ekuonaba Aka. Over the years, Ekuonaba by any now can't wait with that. Again, Bawumia one person or the and also say, I am different from Ekuonaba. That's what he wants to show. I am different from Ekuonaba. That's one of the things that Bawumia wants to show. You can see any team, no. Some Mahama and that. Mahama didn't go for Bawumia Chisa, and I think that is why opposition a year strong is good. When an opposition is effective, they force you to think. And you can see Aduma Bawumia for years they've been thinking. They've been thinking, Mahama for now or more a run for their money. And this 2024 elections, it will be good, but it's also going to be based on ideas. These young voters refuse to listen to these things here on Moking. Because a lot of the things that Bawumia can people, I felt like he's talking about a lot of ordinary voters' heads. And so because digitization, and I thought baby Orma, then he saw kind of baby because he had to focus on the things that make you unique, which is the now national service there, or gold for a year, first gold for oil, no. And I've now come to understand it kind of a little bit more than usually. Now, party communicators, they were all not explaining it well because according to Bawumia, we gold for oil as a way to stem city exchange rate. Because it's an exchange rate, Bawumia had a background on NDC for facing. NDC would never stop talking about city exchange rate because on one Bawumia so the city exchange rate will boil this so. Now, because NDC lose 2016, and one of the things some NDC lose 2016 is city exchange rate. And the NDC no surprising. And now my NDC was so the city has exposed you. And one of the things that Bawumia is saying is in order to ensure say dollar no abroad for pressure and the to Ghana city exchange rate to send the dollar back to crude oil no ye gold no ebeto. Now, see, almost starting to so far, gold or me anya 2.79, which is almost $3 billion. You're calling the IMF. And look at conditionalities IMF for the Maye. Meanwhile, says it can be a more at Ghana just because a conquer for bottom. Again, this is also to show you about Bawumia watches our being child. Okay, no frata. Baby, I didn't also Bawumia so say what being child can frata because. If we gold for crude oil, now we can be able to retain dollar. Nanka first one, again gold never go to dollar never. But because he retaining gold, we have been able to hold gold reserves. I'll say 26,000 tons, 26 tons on Bank of Ghana. What did they come into the total? We have 2.79, which is almost 3 billion here. And he even emphasizes, say, starting gold for oil than Ghana. Your gold reserve, your bewono, a chain on him, Queen Elizabeth. Now, no, before Queen Elizabeth, gold reserve, British gold reserve, the whole room, and your room for rooms, gold, and Ghana, your gold coast, here you go to betting cry. So I say, and no more building again. I mean, to say, Bawumia, I've been chill for that. He's different from Nanado. And to me, and that is something a homework that I said Bawumia homework back on. No, he needs to prove to Ghana for say he's different from Ekuonaba. And yes, Ekuonaba failure to fight corruption. Man, they say me catch him say a ban of corruption. Kwandia Ekuonaba share them fighting. No, said the Ghana for your pete and go fight corruption. No, he hasn't fought it as much as we want him to fight corruption.
According to Vim Lady, that just say Bawumia some more kind on an enyabene. Debi nyado wan ne yadwene ontimi ntina fa akon kase wagye atumutira akwasa but abrante fe no katache free fa be defend o katache free fa chirichiri no katache free fa chirichiri mu no akwa ne ho something which is there ni chirichiri mu no wakwa ne ho say I say a bebu style be kind of as asem no o kan menkan as a mentimi kan ye me kan si asem so sa no katache kan asem no as no kasa pansu tie asemo katachi kan mbesema kan che wo de wan kasa tie asemo katachi o kan
ye de kan yanko Dr. Muhammad Bawumia the argument I have heard ne say Dr. Muhammad Bawumia so wo ba wo betwa 11 and 11 wanyi won na ban na de ba ye na fa he yanko constitution bi yankum constitution ne say there shall be an executive power which shall be vested in the president. And Obi Musa said, "Dear Tina Kufado ama baby, Dr. Bawumia ye no. Dear Tina Kufado ama ho. Mumia Musa said, "Dear Tina Kufado ama ho." If said Dr. Muhammad Bawumia ye na chidini na wo ko launching the campaign. Dr. President Kufado must be there.
Exactly.
Why was he not there?
Precisely.
Is he angry? Nebu afuana. Nebu na afuni ye dia. Then the argument people advance is that, and Dr. Muhammad Bawumia said, when you Akufo-Addo nyadwin wo 11 one, na esan kwa reside dada. But what kind of logic is this? When you are part of a government, now when the government in Nyadwene, now we are going to say you go head to head with the government. When everybody knows what government means, abain, if we are saying they na abain timi nyano so best some be ma bo ba, no asa oba ko be me ne krom timi ye. And government is so powerful, say Dr. Muhammad Bawumia ye na dwene so be resign wa go head to head with government come back crash no.
Exactly.
We know they will come with him with every arsenal, and they would have made sure say he won't win and yet the MPP flag bearership. And then he has tactically won the MPP flag bearership. Akufo-Addo will have no control over him.
Exactly.
And he says that I have a mind of my own. We are not discussing whether or not you walk but that logic say is it not a known fact that Dr. Muhammad Bawumia stated publicly say no e-levy wonyaya and compreso one kind of also he doesn't believe that they must be taxed. Nasa wakokachi Akufo-Addo say, Mr. President, e-levy I would equate me President Akufo-Addo say I'm a friend. I am the one that has been given executive power and I have the control over. You can only go and sit down. Yanti Kroma ne be known fact say under the mills. Now Kwaku anyu do humuni buoma jomama. Is it a known fact?
Exactly.
From the corridors of power, we heard it. I don't know jomama resign. Because to me, dear wisdom, a tact. Me say a grofona is a one combative bionese. Because I realize that when you go head to head with government too much, they have the resources.
Exactly.
They have the media. They have the people. They will crush you. So sometimes you must shrewdly. The key word here is shrewdly. Shrewdly approach power. So you will live with them. You don't agree with some of the things they do. But it's not all the time that you become combative. And then Dr. Muhammad Bawumia to me as the flag bearer of the NPP. And now he's saying that one idea about what he thinks government should be and governance should be. Mommy analyze it, you work on about the argument is one yeah, a buying yard and ko resign. Now your mama resign under President Mills. President Mills who yet the first time at your mama the podium. Was say I have directed that, I have instructed that, I have directed that, I have President Mills the mama because I have directed that, I have instructed that, I directed because the executive power was not resting on him.
Exactly.
Let me say, the executive power. Akufo-Addo near executive power. And Akufo-Addo memo kankai. Na we no me say yana me blaming Crawford. Na your mama do be nyina yakai. Except that Akufo-Addo buy wa huru ni fita. Sa corruption e dey board your mama. And Akufo-Addo na buy corruption and what thing. Eti na huru your mama de no. So he becomes a lesser of the two evils.
Exactly.
Is it true, Sir Dr. Muhammad, about me or bet me a e-levy? That is a conversation we must have. Obi be promises say me ba es gracia make him. Is it true so bet me es gracia? That is a conversation we must have.
Exactly.
But this conversation about Swani buying and Yagin as and resign for me
it's a no.
Ananya watem di na udie na bema meja de meka no wo watem di ensesa hwe
internet emba bibi
na we kura wo moyi woni akukuduro we di atama woni akukuduro Dr. Muhammad Bawumia you the flag bearer was wo ba e-levy obetwam obetwam
ono so akire na dwen di
wo kire yes e-levy no wo mpe ye nyina ya we Emma make catch them say do baby can for the na vice president. Akufo-Addo won't hear. Akufo-Addo won't hear. Enra the entia wa ma ayina say sa nyoma ya wo mutworo say mu say ye kwa 11 no ye na onya adwire betwam. You were shedding at the mama you going to say this in public? Are you going to say this in public? How do you go? Anything wa ma hono. The entia wa ma hono. And Bawumia want to begin to show that he is a clear man of his own.
Exactly.
Yatu Kroma na 2000, you catch a man for say. Professor Mills ba obey a puppet of a JJ Rollins. Remember?
Sa.
Now Professor Mills obey a puppet of JJ Rollins. John Mahama Kurana JJ Rollins in the sword and sa and in the bar politics him. When you are to me, JJ Rollins was nowhere. Exactly. He was not listening to him.
Freedom.
And for you to think that Wobakura wa no general here and whatever here and him so fiamway. Watching a general benye to me. Mimi to be in control.
Exactly.
Nanya Kufuor na ma Kufuor attorney general. Enya Kufuor na ma Kufuor a minister of foreign affairs. And then wakasa ma wontie. Eti Omusa we mirakisia yakwa one the NDC strong power many wakasa wo frame to so ze kadeje jijade oge sa mirakisia yakwa mechiawo asante aguna kigiriki mechiawo. Ensisa. We will analyze now. Say Ampanyampa say the logic is that my consider Dr. Muhammad Bawumia because one in the boss by and the boss a failure. 2012, Obinim say President Mills a co-election and Kobelusu.
Exactly.
Amamo for President Mills bebuye.
Freedom.
Nanipa the way and connect
precisely.
One winner, no one say President Mills yet no 2012 election and Kobelusu. Etina do no akura gidi say yeah utimi say nkrofo say ni say and the my ekoye say enyesa but President Mahama by regardless of the failure of the boss and obaba yebi onu amu yamani be yebi and onu ababa yebi no so ankusiaga media kaminya ya pa ko mienu nyina no yempe bola bi na mom se yepese select bakopa de ya man second in command na ankosiaga ni ya man first in command ankosiaga and the man second in command na ankosiaga ni ya man first in command. It is the people to decide. Na Kufuor na aye Kufuor na aye why bi agoya ntriga krakai why bi pa won ti asem me sintire no awa ma ho no enra ne bu afu se ya se tam abakwe wadwa Kufuor wadwasa because Bawumia want to establish that he is a man of his own and it's a fact. Now be dey to me am obi na so we mistake say be a year or two ago or you not say I will come out now I will say when I become president I'm going to win flag bearership. Go win it. Akufado. Already one thing he doesn't joke with disloyalty.
Exactly.
The entire woman ministers yatna home fear bebreno is because the ministers are loyal to him. Whether they are performing or they are not performing, he understands how to hold power. He does not understand how to use the power, but he understands. So when you're 2 years, said yes, you could have money. You don't crofo or more edgy. So Kwaku says, watching up the same behavior. Kwaku to when him finance one way. As you say, me to me, Nampasam a bomb home by party. I'm the Kwaku beto a year a producer style. Aye. Producer Uncle School. But one of the best ministers are President Nkrumah have.
Exactly.
Ed Kwaku say Uncle School. But I dream more Bob and person hold it to me. I will give him power. On MJ. It analyze it. And me, Dr. Bawumia has been smart. If indeed Kufuor one in Nyagwene and you may be home and I yet or keep you quiet. Now one go head to header. That means he's been smart there. Now it's up to us to analyze the things that MPP and NDC are saying. And your man one more canon. 24 way chumberi mebe we said we see aka na no do enkosi hwe me madwene ni enkosi hwe some meteres wani wa hunu bibi abeka bibi analyze the issues all them je ya analyze the issue no 11 obetimi atwam ontimi ntwam. These are the conversations we must have. And this election that year kono omumu bia de bibia to wa we must critically analyze it. Critically.
So katachi an kono street o. Ono so wan kono eye say by force sa. Ne mu akwa say Bawumia asem a o ka no ofoaso onfoaso. Ti asani akwa say ofoaso because ontimi nye bold nkan ne sesi anasesi but ne nchire mu on de aba no. Minim say etiefo ehwe me no enso de omuso chire mu beba. according to okatachi free fa kire say na se Bawumia kura no nsem a wo ka no se E11 no obetima yi free ho no obetima yi na emom no na ono so ne aban na wontimi ntunefo anase no kasa otunefo mo mfa na o se I no questions and answers bi nsem no okatachi be abepo ade agu ha simple sara menim se tiefo etie enso ewa adwenkyere o beba ewa asemi ho na when ye nenam tintan so na se yente mahamanka the we are vice president na mo a wo hihye boy die say ex president John Mahama so timi hyebo because obi a hyebo ene yakoya ne kun se Mahama so camera hye ne so adan o say Black Star na edi ntwo no wo ho solution nam se papa yakasa ene Mahama edi nkomo na nkomo Mahama edi no wo so wo ho solution wo ne say yenkofa nkofo o mo bobo Ghana no local ones no na yen train o mo saa kopim say ombeti magino manas nem form front international no form nkobo match beti me win cup I'm say Mahama so dey sin kanya bad sao enti ono so bo a wo hye ne say so be president ya bo na ye bo a ye lose wa ye we no o hu solution na hu solution ne say nkofo o mo bobo wo Ghana na saa adehye no ewo eye local no obetwe mu nyina do maba yenkotie owura John Dramani Mahama vice ex president in some kind embraces.
We just came from the African Cup of Nations, and we performed abysmally, disastrously. And we performed abysmally because we are not growing our football. We are not, before we used to have the Colts, and every district used to organize its Colts League, and they picked the promising players from there. We used to have the academicals. The schools used to play against each other, and we picked the promising players from there, before we come to under 17 and then all the other age groups. Unfortunately, all that has collapsed. And so we're going to work with the Football Association to start catching them young from when they are young so that we can train them and give them to local teams. They will play, get experience before, if they even want to travel abroad, they can travel. But we will build the new Black Stars based on homegrown players, domestic players who have trained together for a long time and work as a team. And then we'll bring the foreign ones to come and blend with them. If you bring only foreign players, they don't play together, they play in their individual teams. And then when it's time for competition, you bring them and come and tell them to play. It won't work. The core of the Black Stars must be made by domestic players who have played together for a long time. We'll keep camping them, and they keep practicing together. And then when we are going for a competition, we can bring some of the foreign players to join the domestic players, and you'll see that we'll have a better team. And so we're going to overhaul Ghana football in collaboration with the Ghana Football Association. And all the football associations from the district up, you are going to be busy, because we'll send you resources so that you can hold football galas in your districts, and you identify the players for us. And when you identify the players, we will give them scholarships, we'll send them to secondary school, we'll watch them as they grow and they play, and eventually they'll end up in the national teams. And so we'll do all this in collaboration with the Ghana Football Association. And then Boko West, you say you've been left out. AstroTurfs have been distributed, you haven't got your share. You can be sure that when NDC comes, you will get your AstroTurf. A beautiful one.
Yankasi ebeshemo. It's Mahama kasa. Boya ye boye ntimi mbo. Ye papa so wo hu solution. Ye mfa ye manu che solution e. Wase solution ni nyina say. Nkofo mo bobo Ghana. E wo local teams wo Ghana no. San nkofo no betimi abobo no. Nti wase etimi emo eye enyoma bi omu hi betimi da boss aball. Na san nkofo ne mfa mo front international. Na se ehwese cup ni ntimi mfa mbafia. Wow. Ura Mahama edinkomo pa wayade. Eti Mahama so ensem a wo ka say dia ye hyebo 20 ebeto abente wo say bo hye ekoso. Na bibia e kama pa. Yetine say eno so nkomo eno no. Yanku yanim. Enche ana ya brefo. De no ne Captain Smart program no. Ewo very say sorry no ne okatachi afifa no Angel ya and she say waba be captain smart for team ne ho na minim so ne captain ne be adwuma so so ne program obaye dia ene minim ho asem na ya abrefo akoye interview one Black Rasta ene yes interview na ya abrefo interview okoye yi no mimum de mantis wo ka bibi bone dia fa Angel TV ho de nemum na ne nkasem na kwa bi te se ne nsem opese wo ka wo Angel ho no ontimi nka sa nsem no because I say ya direct ne de won kan de man nka ti nkomo na wo bedi ni yo etimi nim se na opese wo kire se ebia opese wo bo aban na chi ya ntwema no se opese wo ya ne research bia wa bo opese wo de tudwa ne yema ne nyew ene minim de na opese wo kire but uti ne nkasem na se ya kana hye ase ne nsem opese wo ye free na nkotimi ba ba mu no yintimi mane nye free mba ba nsansem nim utie ne kasemu a ne se sa na opese de wo kire na yenkotie full interview no ne Black Rasta no emra okopie mu ewo nua no yenkoti nsem a media general yenkoti nsem o kan
living. What was the mood like?
They were not happy. They tried this. In fact, I wanted to leave way back before the 1st December that I wrote it. They talked. They tried to, get me to rescind my decision. They got my colleagues involved and all that. But I think I had already made my decision.
What do you expect
here? As promised, to be allowed to do who I am. I think they have all the things I need in here. I've seen so. So I'm hoping that they would give me time to be able to build the morning show. Yeah.
So most difficult time on radio, was it Nanama McBrown or was it Kevin Taylor?
I think McBrown.
This
I would say
is
McBrown.
3FM.
Kelvin came in not too long ago, but even with him, the fact that he's not really here, I really don't.
The impact wasn't that much, right?
No.
No. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Probably when I left multimedia and then joined Angel, I missed a bit of it.
I know that you left multimedia after some time, and one of the reasons was Nanama McBrown. True?
Maybe my bosses there, but not necessarily. Yes, the interview brought about that particular, departure.
But Nanama McBrown is here.
I know. Some people have started saying things about it. That, she has, she wants revenge, and I'm here because of. I'm like, really?
Wow.
What for?
This is 3FM.
What for? All I gain in it because we do different, programs and stuff like that. I'm not her head.
Of course.
So I don't know where the revenge is. And actually, we've been speaking, not on phone, but I think I saw her at East Legon. She actually saw me.
Wow.
I was entering a shop and she stopped and said hello. That was the first time after that incident that I had seen her face to face. But I don't think I really have beef. People are trying to create that beef. But I don't, and I don't think she also has beef with me. No.
I don't think so.
She actually sent a message on social media.
Welcoming you.
Yeah, welcoming me. And I actually posted it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. But what's your relationship with Captain Smart?
Very close.
Wow.
Very, very close.
This is 3FM.
We were close working back then at Angel. Very close. I work with him at Adam. Although we're not on the same platform.
Yes.
He was doing radio, I was doing TV.
Yeah.
So we swapped here. He is doing TV now and I'll do radio.
Did Captain Smart play a role in your coming here?
He tried. Yes, he did.
Wow.
When we was coming, we were supposed to come together.
Yeah.
And something happened here too, So yeah, he did. He has something to a bit of it, yes. But I think the kudos go to our group CEO.
Wow.
She did a good job.
She
really did a good job.
She poached you.
She really did a good job.
Wow.
This is 3FM.
So when are you beginning? When are you kicking?
19th.
Wow.
19th of February.
Wow.
We are launching it big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to have some adore dances for you?
Certainly, and McBrown will be there.
Wow.
This is 3FM.
Angel is known to have so much money. The man has a bag of money. Why did you leave? What's the problem?
It's not about money. I'm sure you would also find like the reason being something that you cannot stay with. It's about the job. You want to work. You want to satisfy people. You want to satisfy yourself. You have the edge to, do who you are and work in a particular space. And if that's not coming, you don't get satisfaction no matter what.
Wow.
No matter the money they give you.
Wow. Wow.
You want to relate with the people. You want to speak about the happenings in Ghana freely in a particular point in time. You're a morning person. You want to do morning. That's about it. And if that's not coming, you want to make a move to
Were
a place
you
where you...
They were not allowing you to talk?
Not gag per se, but I wasn't being me. Not gag, but I didn't have enough time on the morning show, and that's not what I wanted, yeah.
You didn't have enough time, so you wanted more time.
I wanted to be me. I was actually asked to go there, do TV. And, there was a blend. So we had to do TV and radio.
Wow.
And a new person was introduced, and I didn't have enough space in there.
When you wrote your resignation and said you were leaving, what was the mood like?
They were not happy. They tried this. In fact, I wanted to leave way back before the 1st December that I wrote it. They talked. They tried to, get me to rescind my decision. They got my colleagues involved and all that. But I think I had already made my decision.
What do you expect
here?
As
promised, to be allowed to do who I am. I think they have all the things I need in here. I've seen so I'm hoping that they would give me time to be able to build the morning show. Yeah.
So most difficult time on radio, was it Nanama McBrown or was it Kevin Taylor?
I think McBrown.
This
I would say
is
McBrown.
3FM.
Kelvin came in not too long ago, but even with him, the fact that he's not really here, I really don't.
The impact wasn't that much, right?
No.
No. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Probably when I left multimedia and then joined Angel, I missed a bit of it. The structure-wise, the discipline, how they are able to find talent and make sure the talent does their job the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
I miss it. I miss my morning show a lot. I do. I did miss it a lot. Yeah. And the people I work with, hardworking guys, I'm telling you.
Did they replace you well when you left? Did they find somebody who could do it better
in my
than you?
opinion, I would say yes and no. I think they struggled a bit, and they are still probably. I stand for correction, struggling, because they brought about 2 or 3 people
for
after
one
I left,
person's
for one
exit.
person's exit. Yes.
Interesting. Nanaya Brefo is in the house. I want to say thank you so much for coming.
Nanaya Brefo and some catch a black rasta any. Emma black rasta so eka so aya dear. I mean or knitting common nice. I mean say near or copy station will be in common. But to me the army pen so cool we are juma won't be a juma na alichin. Ye be a fufi and twata. Na we free. I had the same a juma na we free ho eco different place. Na se oko keka a juma ne chia 7. We mum the end ana many engine ho. But my auntie be bonny be a free lady ano dear. Anyway, my TV be bonny be and finano dear. Na we na video be a bab on tia a Dr. Kwaku Oteng. And so akọ a na jumam na on na juma efo 18 komo. Na eja nkranhye sem ne ha wo fa so twa mo ka ne ade ade waketena se akokasa nsem ne nyina awo na fidie ne so nkofo se papa na kasa yi pa na okasa wie na nkofo afa video ne ye ne se waba attack Kevin Taylor waba attack Asumesi waba ka onam se papa nsem wo kan me hu attack bia one ne workers ne bedi nkomo ena ne nsem a opese ne workers te oka kire wo mu na ade no mo de attack bi ene bibi bam ti se de papa no eba abonten se oba be kriti eye attack and also be kriti beef with Obinim mum de man ti biasa full video ni mbese me boni gina na etie nsema papa yi kan so kasa fin bi anaso kasa boni bi anaso kriti beef bi wo bi no obi ntemu a be bia me na man ti a obetim don so comment na odi abaye nkutie Dr. Kwaku Oteng nsemo a oni tu dia mra okopi mu ewo na dwuma mu no ne staff edi nkomon intin nsemo oli tu dia
no nkra na me de bia mpa me bone se Nyankopon fa me so emi enyuma mankofo nya benye ze was me so cry na yes FIFA as me ntua muka me da me na se wo hwe manim se abos manim na the whole night me night say am tua tua muka na ka tua no yes ka bia yes ka fia o bi wo mu ye
ya doso
serious dan so nya me be ye say so ma oni dia o ma dia ncho
okay
do hwe enuma asabe o mo nam wiem kra no a o mo ne ni da so so da bia o mo didida nti nyame no abekire kwan ebe de mo fa so yet many sketchy amoka. What if December? It be first of December. It drew best the 20th to 22nd. Let's see Jamoka. Na kwen yankopo fast ye miracle no. To be said ne fifu ya minye nyeske. Me say ya bedu chana na de nyam betre. To be say mamu ya munyu suni mate boy.
Baba tem die eni watem.
Oh kata twitwe kakra wo mu.
For the past for the past 10 years. And my year juma na say not a single month. And my catch akamuda. Any my colleagues are nyina. Ebinim kra de aye aseme. Obia bedia dance here. Even at the time of COVID, Bremois, na ye lay off workers near there. Papa, why ye ye ebinim kra okay ye lay off. I bet you cut you near my half. Why ye be? We were even in the house. Ye never hear bahano pa coffee, but every month ye cut you. Every month ye cut. Zero can I bet you, but ever. I just say I beba. Yes, we boy about so. Ya enim the okum, enim pressure a woho. And there taxway or china taxway. Taxes 177 back.
Kwame, Mr. Oh, the baby. But I mean, who's saying you don't politics or we end up in the Japan? Maybe I was having your politics. Now, the Bimano Casa says, yeah, bomb beba. But Daruma, what the master said, my crew in Trammy Hong Kong. But,
oh, there's a very chat to Asana. I don't pay. Yeah, when you
come, the American said, Madame was saying, a mayor, Domosomo Bois. Sabi penefo sin pa ba ko ne kumoso no ne obi atwa biare ade ba ko a make an radio adwuma omo mo wa chire ni nim de wa adwuma na sete se kwa me wotu esi sabi wo ka sare twi obi a ne pa kro attack me se director wo ni pa se nam sa omo nti ade na se radio adwuma nya adwuma sabi me na me sora be ka che sabi wo kwa me tanko se kwa me ene sabi me ne ya wa hai kan ho asem da binya sana radio adwuma tire.
Okay.
Some I buy in the sports, you know, I'm quite some career and son. Only one of my research na modiaba.
Okay.
The Hammy Papa couldn't percent conform with tea radio and TS, radio Juma. Near a Juma run a man's rush and say, when you say no my Mediana say beer, my catch them as a mamun can say it to be. Then so drew baby, and Nipa Hometinti drew baby a year with DNA, never been to make a satraso. And only Yamana me mamoka.
Okay.
It was sermon. Ya natem bia mo kasa na mo hwe ne ye because sabe nipa bebre na etiemu kofu bebre wa adwene kra che sabe mo amote ha mo ye adwuma no ba woni sa opportunity no ba betena kasa natem bia mo kasa na mo hwe se de be ya mfa wo ni kasa twitwie mfa problem bia ma ti mesre mo amotie ye se radio adwuma nya na me man instruction so mo nye se no maye me ma ha 2 years de bia mo ye adwuma mfi mi no mi si hada so de bia mo ye adwuma kwa
okay no crepa
Intimation, Madame Wasse, Munina from Bronze Subisimo, so we 6 of a cleaner or her, near Madame Wasse. I make Kaka Horn say, or more Sabi, or more to a product. No, yes, Sabri, I don't could even be modding because a anopa. Until I don't could emit my car, but I meant to be far bitters beyond Kahon. I don't cook a I don't cook company. No more motor, a don't cook products. No. Mese mo say a product yam fa sabi enema pasasana de natural herbs obi tim say na de bia herbs mo nya bi wo hen na kwai bebrebe wo Ghana he wo sa say bi nya bi wo hen ni nyina ye won krofo a sisi am na ka say won krofo mo bushi nipa over 1000 omo de bia mo dwuma na say omo de mo pe adonko ho ne ma na mo de amaye na de ye dwuma enti e be say mo amono mo donko no mo nkoso na mo no na ye ensa papa a wono mo a me no and say me pie Christmas mu fair general I'm kono brofon sabi into be modern because I say na me so
be business
na hangover chairman for 1 month I mean to recover no crowd na me mistakes are they be am no madonko ne de na me kono different a year ko ha me ho to show onu nsa na wanu nsa ade chia se bia wo bro anwumre no ade chia hwe so de be ye wa ho de sitie na wakoso de because natural herbs and soft drinks are media banam yes soft drinks are media base sebe ska hu na bepe dabi profit e was soft drink ba bottle ba ko onya kra na e be 20 pesos anya dia profit wo by the criteria adwuma mancrofo sebe ya obi aso nya adwuma ye na mo so mo ska mo to kakra no so anya ska because what that is good wo discover na wo ton a wo benya wo profit no enu nti na ma yehie ne ye nti me se obi a wo to drinks bia no ma ento drink bia keke ma wo ba anase wo ankasa hu say product a yesa wo to eye adonko product a Coke, Fanta and peach lime apple lime and an angel energy drink. We say a day about quite different. So we say war and a donko next level and we energy drink and your angel energy drink
and say energy
drink to the open water.
Yeah.
In now so yeah juma.
Sure.
Yeah juma papa.
Sure.
Papa,
what can donko in a month for besides said now Kwame Adonko TV. Weekend these say none was Sankregua Keko Bomo.
I don't know, I sick Musana. We say actually we have a toss. Yeah,
the other day or say no bizarre you have a 12 fee. A foot will be a penny 47 Mokasa, ya the drone tea. And tea about 12 fin or foot 2 out of Matisse, need to name ranty 2 way. The Omubeka and now Omochita for so ya the drone efa.
The best stress about to the Serwaa cano. Yeah, Afia, Obinim say Afia, a betuaba. Na Selim Dika 2 Momo for say Sabi, Mona platform to Schwar, Mokasa Mohi. The best stress what your politicians are. We knew no more better Mohi. Omit myself Mokupa, would anymore once or Mokotonia no moody. Yenny will be a cry, Sabi, in your son, Joma. Yamen fa ne currency one enua asedu ketia
yeah
omo ye nam focus ba enso omo be share radio se omo be kasa omo ko omo nko hwe sa na politician set omo ye nua no omo ye nam fo na ye ne wo fam no a ya na ye gina mu kontokwa no sabe politics e bi a o party ne kra ba power no wa hwe a bibia ni wa obenya free mu enso na wo ko faso bi ene so o me yentra ye kro no asundwe na ye de ti o man no yentra mu sa ye obi so say na de si o ma we mu de so e bi be dabi enkani o cha sa agrode o de ma bibi nsi wa ha so obetima tran kro mu ha bi mu a ti be sre mo fem a mo di political party bi echi no Afia election ya o tran ho adru se o to abakoto abana ko ba bi politicians don be bi a mo mo nye o mo ya obi a be bi no ko no be bi no ko sa na be ye Mesre to kwane o we ne de ye pempese beti bi kra.
Okay.
That's
TV number.
TV ne de no de no kwase ne se me ampo kra ha me share mo amobusa no. Na niema bi na ankoyi na amana kobasa. Nso penifo se akya so mu yi. Em se nse mu bi ne me akasa. Enche kra ebeba. Mpese me de so bobo bi a. Nanso no penifo so di kokko na anya woda. Neflose.
Okay.
Mwa muha problem ni nyina firi muha. Nso ye hwema ne nse sabe omwa wo nwa be tan na ba omko adidi na ba ko firi mu esa ko hwe no. Nti ye be hwe na asaba life.
Okay.
Damase.
Baba yenso dasi papa bay chief of staff ma po so ebabi Uncle Philip Pufa ononso ka ho ebabi papa and pay that's it.
Yo. We don't that's it. Maybe be a fish pass.
The pan comment over to say Mama Kai Abramovich.
Can I say I'm pretty first that boy be the Jaquay and
okay.
My baby, the rest said about the rubber. But this
director say Afisubia.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do no more Kai.
Yeah.
And nti yemfa akonya suso na ye na sese afenso a yetine kama igidi ye se enye hanko ano ye the other side no so bia osan eye patasi ho so sa
Angel
and I think say ade say ye Ekuonaba so far atoso akoso a afibia so a yetine kama nti yesu so ye bompa ya na edibi so
mompa bo no munya din e be fia
na be say say na adonko next level no eko for ayi
other countries na
ko ba bi adam ko hu bi wo ayi no
kutu kwan no
chale
other countries e wo pa
And I'm saying this is serious.
Other countries be
yes.
Now a product but be obe country bi how be hu say next level. Anyway, bi also be hu say adonko next level. Difference e omo no. It took we na water making sure say we was adonko next level. And we hu next level keke na enya adonko bi ne bia.
No, but we dey adonko next level.
Let's say there
yes. And na Ghanaian show. Okay. Tottenham, London.
Oh yes.
I was like,
Adie bi ni
ana. Yeah. Na mkoko bisa ye.
Ebia bro, adwuma ye na anode. That's so nyame. Nyankopɔn so da ye kra wontumi man ye yo.
No kra. Mahmud be ko bi no man ka bi.
Ai unim se asɛm a me nua ken. Me kra de na me be family o. Me hampa.
Fina wo ba wo be fa de e wo ha.
Bro nya nyina na me ni ha.
Ampa e frɛ
wo. Fina me be for na say ese you didi kai mo bi die no.
Okay.
Some I be in the sports nya na me ko chese man sama kawe ansa na waka. Ono na mo na mo yam research na mo de aba.
Okay.
De ha me pa ba ko no percent crofo mo tie radio no tie ase say radio adwuma. Nya adwuma wura na man instruction say munye sei na maye. Media na say bia me ka che mo say mamu nkasa etwetwe obi. Nanso dru ba bia nipa ho ahometinti dru ba bia ya wodie ne ba bi nti mutimi kasa tra so. Eno no nyam na me mamuka.
Okay.
Ede me sremo ya natam bia eso bisa. But for say ya say so chato amo yihwa.
Okay.
Me chat for ne adofo nyina say mo bibia fishapa. Say for long years obia antemenka.
Yeah.
Even on social media so Dr. Kwaku why say. Na ya na ro sem say we say de mu kan nyina so mu be 2% pe na no kre. Bia kan nyina nya no kre. Na me yo bia mentam pe kasanti no kofo. Ya ne kofo bibire kra fi say no kre. Na ene de me ba se me besra mo kwame. Adwuma pa ne adwuma so amoye no de boa santemane Ghana man na pese me ba na be hwese de mo city enti na de mbanchem
so yenze dase ye hu wache se de wo ka no na ya na a surprise mi peja miti edi hu ha papa na ade ba ko say the latest year ababetom the soft drinks no say no na wa bonti a ye ka ho asem ye pa na ho asem eti say angel cola angel peach and the akeka ho nyina no ho asem to say
no kan am say before I me baso no mama ko so nchia santamani Ghana for because ya na aniwa mo ye na ya ne fe say the bibia ba bonti ano maso bibia ba bonti ano maso na ade wo nsem me pa de pa you be a uhwe a life in part of into me idea me ye it take more years and sana they are never wanting na uhwe enji cola ne peach and orange energy drink yeah enjoy energy drink na uhwe de dwumedia product ni dia just say nyame kan na we product ne ba bonten o kra kwa me we dey dance challenges be brain na me share
no correct
o say so he sa product na omo ye ne ye sebe India for ne China for ne ye na ye mai mu ha ye o ha ne ye adwuma na foreigners ne ba o mpese be bi ko de bia na o mu opportunity che ene say sebe ojilo ni krono de be ye adwuma ha kra o tia 1% yesu how to over 30%. Bia ontim no compete ento mo pese obia ba ka ho na challenges am share with this product no menya adwuma bia kran share bi sada enso ni nyina nyame kan ho ntino ya di nkonim product e papa concentrate no me ne company bi wo Germany na no mo ye abofo fita na me no mo ye sa adwuma no am di concentrate no bra me yenye en sabi yenye no ha am di free obochi de ba ne amese wa ha na ye dwuma sonko uhwe se uko Burkina Faso ne Côte d'Ivoire no nyina o mani aso product no
wow
na me de men kan se sabe me na me bibi ye bebre de mu no se adom se wo do afo ne Yankopɔn kra hu afo ne ntanye ye
okay
na because se me ni bibi am de bon ho ban ti no product me am just nyame sa so na make say begin ukra o ya we because one day me ho na wo de so fi ba me nchen say so for so who be for product no say crofobia see product no
yeah
na na no kre trudo kwa be so see product asa na product the way we see e ko hu say nema ai basa na me ya dance trudo na kasi nyame ni monyam say Unyakopon say obie ni ho de ne ho ato no so a wo de hwa moda because ye ni bibia de boy apart for God nyame so am ye din kunim
amen
ndi de wo hu ne de me fi say ya hyase so that the bed drive of the whole Ghana Africa country krabeko so they start Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso ni ade no
sure
ebeko other countries na kan
okay
de nyame na aye
de nyame ase na no me hu say German na ba nam sini bai
na no kwasem ne say Jama krono ma promote krono pa say me next level me no Germany book na machine na me de ye adwuma sese ya for and just soft drinks no me to machine nyina from Germany enti ambassador no ho ni say me promote mu krono enti so we here we a second time wa de aba na oba so kra nyo no kwa ne bae one finance minister back former finance minister and MP current MP and mo buy say on be sry utani na so be so hwe mo meet me dia bo because but force the food ya pan e piano ye Ghana ha na sabe mpreduasa ya na ye ne a nyame adom ese e ti bi enwuma man for ye no ya na ye ntan value ye ya na ya tin but force the food bi ani mo nyamo ne kro na jama for the omo de ewu me mu ani meti me aye nti ehu guso aye no mo guso din sa wo so meti ma boy ni na ne se penifo se kwa che de afa idiska na ye sabe meti me bi enwuma na ye be aka ho a iska hu iska wonti me
no kre
wo hwe machine a meto ye ya ka me hu ska nyina na ma plan me de ato
running to millions of euros
ebodia ahwe obi a kra
the last time yam shame
na no crash o de o hwe ba o hwe machine de we se run ya na kwa machine o di better 10 years 20 minutes o kada o cause
can you just sky a koto you know
it's serious
Dr. Kwaku Oteng insem wo de kotu dwa enso ana waso gusu a wati anyway ne gusu a wo de ahwe nse papa na kasa yi pa ne se omo bi adwumatua nkofo kana ya mpa me bi atome da he mitimi be kasi me na workers bi se bitio mo kam ni kapre he obeden wachiri machiro muso ni kapre obeden wakasa che wekasa mi ni kapra mi tu akati ase pressure timi to ma no anu din bluta oda wonda obi so o mama so ya se home na me frɛ Ekuonaba ne de ewu ni kapre di tu ankofu ika me so ne yepem ho asemi mentiment tu ankofu ika mewu ne se anyasam keto nti du time awuti aka na usika nyambo ano na workers no wo hwe o manim se ya be ma ya na no wadi papa nas football ne se mo kala experience pa no de kasa simple san yeah experience odi din common na Dr. Kwaku Oteng aba eye picture mu de ne yemfamfiri aprako eye ne dofo bi one ne jaya wade a ye frɛ no eye Akua sister Akua be make allegations bi edi nkomo na sister Akua nsɛm wode abeto abonten ene nsɛm a wo kyerɛ se wo tag Ghana police ama police fo abamu no menim se Afia be yina no de but ma yen kan asɛm kro na eye sister yi betu dwa no video ye da so yi eye sister yi ena eja ode post wade e woni Instagram page o say ma men kan krata ni ye but obetimi so akan ena da page yi so o say enya 3,728 likes ye friend o say I am Akua Amoakoa o say some rich men in Ghana in this country are using some policemen in the police service to intimidate and humiliate poor people in this country. Yes, and kofubi sikafo okuru mu omo de omo sika ne ani dibi omo wo no edi tietia omo ni bi enyansa so. The core mandate of the Ghana Police Service is to apprehend and prosecute offenders, maintaining of law and order, protecting of lives and property. I haven't come across any clause in the Constitution or article that says a person can be kept behind bars overnight for owing someone. I am pleading with the IGP to please educate some policemen who are being used as debt collectors to leave that in the hands of the judiciary if the person did not acquire the debt through fraudulent means. Okay, Sister Akua brought for the to abontini, but on my main kind of year, Sister Akua brought for the abadi. Or say, owing someone is a civil case, not a criminal case. The poor should have a voice in the country. I hardly bring my issues on social media, but this time I don't go company limited. Door to door. And what be see ho. Owie no anso wo hwa and wasanso eto a eye ne nsem wo pese wo ka e de kire Ghana for so. Ne nsem wo san de to aso eba abiem ne se o say. Then we need to say I am Akua ho ya no betro de aba. Okay, o say the collection of debt properly falls under the ambit of the civil law. It is not a criminal offense for which the police are called to perform their duties under the laws of Ghana. In the Indian case of GBC Jack Gopal versus the government of AP, the court held that the function of resolving civil disputes is instructed to the judiciary. Okay, the police officers lack judicial and interfere in civil property disputes between two citizens. Even a criminal case, their role is limited to the registration of the complaint and conducting investigations. In Nigeria, I see in the Nigerian case of Nwadingo, and as Wadana Hoy, I'm so a lawyer and so, the appeal court maintained that the police are neither debt collectors nor arbitrators. And Section 24 of the Police Act 2004 does not list the settlement of dispute or collection of debt among the duties of the police. We have laws in this country and law must take its course. The police service isn't a debt collection agent. I rest my case. Osanso edi we beto ho. Na fe nkofo bu say sister ni ne bro fo ne lawyer nsense mo dia beto abontin obeso wo kire sen. Enti we ana yes sister Afia Schwarzenegger sister yin nsem wo dia beto wo ho asem ka. Ena sister Afia di asem wa on information minister on the kofa ba na nyina ye titi bia. Sister Afia Schwarzenegger eba abontin no say sister yin nsem wo dia beto abontin se ne bra akwa firi nyoma e wo ne ex husband ho. Ena on pese obetua for almost 1 year ni eno ho brofo ena obetwetwe gu ho yi na Afia se ne meburu nsem yato abontin. Sister Afia bulu nsem na mane kodu time bi kura mi se ne mpro no ma twetwe okotwetwe mi se sembe kura na adechi bi anya asem fufuruti yenkotie eye Afia Schwarzenegger nsem wo de ba abontin after so hu se sister yi atwetwe ne lawyer nsem ne court nsem gugu pages yenkotie sister Afia nsem wo de aba
Kotua mami ne kana be trose Kwaku tin di sika esisi obi a wo di sika esisi wan dada no wato nsa wo Kwaku tin wo dada no wato nsa wo Kwaku tin wo eye waku amako na afa afun ana afa director na ka che director say on fa commander eno ka che wo say wo waku amako na afa afun fa director so on fa commander and the director catcher will say, Assembly will ni mushe that will confront commander. Now will be car. A tuano mutua, and to Mukona Muko for Apia. Apia near police near. Ya signing a Quaduma, a Donko company. And to Frapia no more, Frapia no more. Now the papa never tell be good anymore, Semeboa. What the papa no aba betna ho be gu papa nani mu ase so for life police station no me so obi anko so for life police station enko busa say onko company abeye complain wo ana is a donko company the complainant is Dr. Kwaku the complainant. Why do you people always want to use every opportunity to disrespect the man? What we are Akua, and remember to do what you're saying, and I know what's up till now. Almost show we no. I show mommy, show papa, do what saying. When you Kwaku Tinja, I know for Ampana. When you Kwaku Tino, one from Planana. Don't bring yourself. Don't look for any opportunity to disrespect the man because respect yourself. We will not keep quiet for you to disrespect Kwaku. One thing they make a wake up from your high horses. A Donko group of company has done what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I blame myself. Kwaku timba 2 years ago going to the pono. Now that time, so for free fana we no. Now the yira beje ne car. Now when the Charlotte na Charlotte gani di saying. And nam. Now Diana matokra na mun yes country. I don't blame you. If you don't have any respect for the man, respect him for the fact that if you are utimon etomao, ka utimon eto, for all your bullshit, he's feeding you. If you have scores to settle out of where I eat. Do not drag a Donko company on social media again because you have me to deal with. So what bodamoa, kone kono munyo, do you fucking understand that? Because moya papa nkasa, moya papa nkasa, moya papa nkasa, into work your mwakwa, I will nicer crutches, ever be true, and don't go group of companies. What the fuck can you do to us? I am waiting. I am waiting. When you are not going to be son, I told the Sikane Johnny. Kwaku saying, and for police. And country police say, Yen Jano, now one yet, until you are threatening him. What the fuck do you think you are, madam? But Ghana police should come and do what? Ghana police should come and do what? What do we kind of Jania? Courts never have a show. Wako to bin sana ye frawa wu dwane no. Wako to bin sano. Ye frawa wu dwane no. Courts ne ke ba be ne police. And the ba be do wako court. Enti no papa ni new sine. Wo na wo pesa papa ni sika. Eko sisi wo hieni. Because you are the one that called the man to call the commander. And the man told you he is not doing anything like that. Because Onima send you. Obetro says Kafo do musika esisi here for. Now was so true. Obetro. Ama, that is the issue. That is the issue. Akua mo akwa nua de dada. Dada akwaje nsa e wo bi shop. Maame ne di abawa or magazine post office. And dada akose wo collect maame ne nsa 55,000 Ghana cedis since last year June. And dada no so call here no. Wan kwaje nsa no wa abawa ne nsam. Abawa ne manager e di wo wusu. And to a wusu na ton sanema dada. And Abawa say, media sana wokano. I don't know. Police of one and China. And then Kobido kana wo dwane no. And kawana chino. Obido kana afinie wo hwehwe na wu no. Obido kana 1 year ni oni wudi kwani no e kame na mekwa akwachi na mano and I will profit obi do ka ya nkwase sanade obi do ka ya mo obi do ka so police nchi no you people think that you've got some following to kwase asembia. Hey, I am warning all of you, a free neck and so on. I catch them. Father Dixon out. Kwaku off. Listen, it goes on and on. Father Dixon out. Kwaku off. So what bodama abeti weni madam? Uti. So what boda papa na so wodi. and I'm a menti, and I'm a menti, and I'm a menti, and I'm a menti. Una we have been ube gugu kuti and you must say. And grandma, if you are with him, why the Toma out him? Why, dear, what do you have, Papa? Way? I was at told for my would name. I would be fat, would be fat phone, and typing a tear, Papa. You are heartless and a wicked soul. Leave Adonko group of companies out of your childish behavior. What's your answer? What's your answer? Now, want to abuse your forephone. Adonko company. Oh, quite yes, a complaint anti Adonko. Oh, yes, a complaint anti Adonko. Ah? Yes, a complaint. You think you can intimidate the man and disrespect? Share when you Jimmy no. Enna, the rich is suppressing the poor. One of fair. Papa said unfair commander no. Now so unfair commander no way on what authority? I then one fair papa. If you believe, if you strongly say the rich Papa need to me be our different commander a year. I then one fair papa. Kwaku te one a dada. Kwaku te wo ya ubusu ani. Ah? One in the Kaware, Papa no waja, what boy, Papa no waja, and Draman so one I do two wabo. And yes, Papa na cast wabo, Draman. One uncle for boys, of which we all knew, and a Papa na chill, and a yes, what you two say, oh, and Mamma 7 no more candidate, no Munana no more but only jail for Trimpana, and a Papa ni Jow. Papa no make come, I will be anti you. Needing I to cross in a menti, what of you do what's name. Watoka ma wutim so woni buo ma no Akua woni buo ma papa no woni buo adanka grave of companies na nkwasi asebwe na mebeka no matu milika na makodo nso aba saade na wo ye ne bi na meka kira broko no abroko I say I will bring you down. I will bring them catch say Kwaku tie me na me feed you me Kwaku ma kwa broko me na me feed you. If I am down I will lick the ground. But guess what you will lick? My anus. And you will say, who make a set here don't go because I want a papa na kuma one. Papa no owua ne yinom almost wesika and family wo. I was your phone in the name say, oh boy, drum mine and I'm already good ye. Tie nam kwa sumi Dear Tosumi no. If you bring Dr. Kwaku down, Kwaku the feed you. If he is down, he will lick the ground, you will lick his anus. I want to speak wisdom into your head. Kwaku na suna ding, and then na suna dia, and Kawukrano, and Kawajin manu gufie show. Would you announce the anchor? What's the anchor? Papa no nessa paya chow. Papa no nessa paya chow. Send a man into ye now for unquasi assembly when ye and so adiano. Anyone nanta for unquasi assembly when ye and so adiano. Anyone nanta se tata ye ni bano. A free Kwaku so what if you make no? Yes. Don't bring your shit to Adonko company. If you're a big girl, go and pay that money. Go and pay that money. Just as you pay bloggers to disrespect your baby daddy, go and pay that money. What did the person make catch no? You were new free papa na so. Because papa no ankasa, yen century, your baby did do what them. So what Jimia? What shady akofa unro? Do you understand? And you can fucking go to hell. I will meet you there with witnesses. Oh, boy, I want it. What Jimmy no be anti cash chanya kama na wo Jimmy wo share laga teacher wa dwuma law na wo na say say wusuan. Is that what they tell you?
Guess what snake and someone they abatu dwa efa eye nsemo a Akua be postu e wo social and media no so no eno ena wasogusu a wakwakuti ebusuafo minimu adwenkyere minim say doctor da so hwe sister minim say ne a won ne wo ba I don't know minim so ne wo ba dia ebi wo mani scan bisa minim ho asem. But the way I will see can I say more than go for so per doctor that we say addiction na sister yi esisa doctor home information ko ma Kevin Taylor de ne na de asia na esi Kevin Taylor nso ti o mu no Mr citric acid ko de ya advert na de fine yere ho ba de ne nka ne ko OCE nti ye best sister ayi Akua so ne brother ne de ne campa se de Afia kan de ahunkotua ne ka na asem fa na asem ko no nya eye lawyer ansem o twetwe ne article 1 2 3 4 5 ne de keke ka hu nti Afia ba be chichi ma kire Ghana fo ade cropotin ti sister no e postu sansem we e won page so se o de command Dr. Kwaku Oteng anaso o ma Ghana fo enya information bi a e wa abonten no dana say asem no ne nyina etie na ye koye nimu no asem ni fie kodwo akofa asem abafi ye ho akodwo Obinim ma video tu abonten a wo so obi ho kankan se kodwo ne bia me kasa asem we kirew ade na asem ni fie na akofa asem abai ho kankan o se sister bia ye frɛ no eye Oheneba Serwaa Bonsu ho kankan nam se se waye ne den wo se ne ho kankan kodwo kyerɛ sister ya be kika nsem bia fa no ho na ade e ma no hu se ne ho bon no obehia no ewo na ayi ase na ohun no sister yi na ya no odi matem Royal TV ni ade na say ono ne ho bon sa kodwo nsem wo be kika no sister ne ti ne buofu bruta wo wi anso ho kodwo san de ko UTV fo so eno san so tutu bi di ma UTV fo na before I bet twa ya asem so no kodwo da bia me so video me de kai wasem
obi akuta nipa thousands na ni ba me ho so bi hia so de ma nipa 200 kra menya nipa 200 kra menya 200 afi me to me se he mo kan to pa ne ye den eno na me de etufu se obi be ka won to pa check wa mo de na check ni pa ko na no den so bi ti ya boa en so da na me ne won mabukere Japan de no kra me story no be say die dem ko gina court one thing say Obinim fa 7 lawyers one thing wonim soon 7 lawyers na ka say mini 2,200,000 Ghana instant ento sanoma ofisi on mabukere Japan court because when you say Japan wiska be say the call many ni wo I na my din no
okay etikwadwo Obinim we am tade kaiwo na metwe wadwen su chairman atsemu ni fia nkofa asemu mba ebeya twansem mebire so nyensem nya ne soso kwadwo me kwa me ye blogger kra nyensem nya na me soso wo ye so obeso so nsem mebire so akwadwo ede nsem mebre wa ankasa da bia bonse wo kire wusie mus na obi ansonsoma wo wahini beya akofo na asema bai kwadwo enye betema enya de be betama so obi tini be bi na waka asem fa ho sedien so ye sofo so masa in a professional way fine but say ne ho kankan wugina pulpit so preaching obi kwadwo anyway yen kwatie asem akwadwo Obinim man ko fa we nyina bae UTV for be ye program bi to abonten ena omo si kwadwo miracles ne ade a wo ye nyina kwadwo se ni nyina say ya azan ene na kwadwo kire se enya azan odaso eye sa miracles no na ni nyina daso ye adwuma nti UTV for asem omo kan ya obedidi o matem no yenkotie mra sisia
ba kon e bae em se na se mo social media no mo share ne niam kakra osofo Obinim o so ye so abafu yi a o se wo no yi otimi tu na oni yesu tu na mbehu no so na mnifa no wadane okode otimi pa wo daye mu otimi dane wo otimi jane edane jata na no kwa de ni shoe mu wase oye kurufasa am obi passport ne mpabu am shoe wo chimni na se ya ye na passport se shoe nim e wa so de mo ni abade so ye na ne nkom se bia no osakwa de na anika se ni munya bi hwe pen a
na bi o
mo ko de kom se
na we ma so mi tie o
omo salai ti entente oni adaje omo doso tudu won ma wenche obewu enche obenya ka wenche obe kromfo he wo ba benya sika obi behu ya kan ya na wutwa ma nya da benya da de gina obi sase ade na mewu o nya da ji nya no
na bi wan kwantem ni we be video to aso
etu ba ya no obi de ye enche obewu enche obenya ka na si obe da no kromfo wo ba be kwa broche ensam
me na o ka enche obewu me so for kan foforo
enye no go osofo Obinim se wotimi dane wowo eba ufie otimi dane wo otimi dane jata besa wo yade otimi di sika kwa command na akoto bank account nsam de ye nyina nim nsam ensam de wa bru bi so da no de ono abetena social media so asem de ato dwansa nsam ro kanya wo boa enye no kre
so ye angel no
so wo boa
oni yesu tu fa no
wo boa ona ni jata bi ehu ontimi nya wo bi ahu ontimi mesa wo yade bia wo dayem ontimi bebo nwura wo dayem o sesanse no kan nyina wo kan no wa na no kokotwea wa twea san wo boa na onye sa de bia ontimi nya krufasa emma so ni krufasa magic ontimi nya krufasa emma passport Ghana passport ya ye kwa immigration for ne kwa ontimi nya mane ma me show shoe mu passport office on ne kwa de no se nya no kre nyo no ye sa de no ni nyina wo boa na ye na da osisi de wa man nsa so nyame ama na kwanya second chance nti wo bo kwakwasa wo ya nso abrabo wo bo ne ye ntro abrabo asesa no no angel Obinim de sese wasesa onti se kan ni biem da mafo se wo bo wo ya wa amwani ana wo de kwasi ada beda na ojuoda wo boa asese asori ni nipa na esa enti wo pekwan bia fo so man kofo so sese de wa very genuine enti obesa akoro enti wudi awa nhwe ya kokoma sa ade ato ani okasa hwesoro wan hwefo ye ba be bo tim setie ni ena ono asofo Obinim so no kura nie se okasa onyame mfre na wo bo se ono akasa no owadom akyede woni mu o timi de nsa to so bo mpa ye man senkyeni eno de na yade owo na emomo ahote ene mrento asem nti wono ade bi be frafra mu ena mtimi tu ena me papa Yesu na anokwa body ni video bi agam sa wante wo si wo tu ye ma na atabani bi no ni angels ni tu ye okoy na bibi gina otu no se bonsam jaboru ni no bonsam se ayamia bonsam se me ya pass ama odane angel we nya yenso no ke cause nyina wo boa
asem we na UTV for be kekan eto abonten akwadwo ti ya akwadwo ebuafuo sig UTV for person ono no kwadwo no oba form enti no ma start ekeka no ho nsem social media no so anas ewu TV so se de be akwadwo ba form na ebi kura wonya church members be 10 kura e wa so de enti ono so ntena ho emo mo mfa ne sekan nwa na nkasa enya de obeye sa de no enti kwadwo Obinim te sa asemi no ene wototo bi ede ma UTV for na yentie nsem akwadwo ekeka ye eche UTV for
translator Mika Sembi beginning no so kai efa ensama ye dia to me so a menkan say Obinim me se me ye fake miracles am ye nyina ya azan me se dia me ye nyina anya no kre me say me refimpo Obinim se dia miracles o ye nyina anya no kre azan me se atro me papa me dia duro na ye adwuma me se ma asole agu nti me pani pa foforo aba ma asole ntia ebi se me collection asa medical ya kasa me nkasa bio ba sa atam ye nya ntwa ntomu e wo TV ni YouTube ni Facebook eti dia me kan no bone tofa fama omo hwe no because me kasa me se ka no waka tamu beko eti wu kirechirem se dia me kan no na ya dofofo ni hu ni se eye atamfo na dane me kasa no na eye omo mpem asem na dane me kasa no na eye bone na omo pem ompe so omo yade me to fom if he said old pastors no ame no omo start ye no ebi da fom awokọ na asole am si nipa 50 kura wonya abe nipa 20 30 40 20 30 40 me se minima sofo be 20 omo ho adwen wo mitrem 20 met ma body ni sese o yembehye wo obo me boni di kro abeka se papa sa me boni di abeka se papa ono so ka ho na solid da form wo ko na solid a wenye nipa ye 40 35 50 30 20 something asofo be 20 bi ho adwen wo mitrem ebi ye mpanifo kura che me ka so panyin che me o starting kura gya me ene bi nso me so me start gya wo mo be 1 year 2 years ebi so da no mo nyina na start ye ma shada leste sankofo ni din wo metirim eno na dwu se na me check sankofo be 20 pastors e boro ba 20 pa na metima bo mu din se ene de me wo concrete evidence wo ko ma sole a unya nipa 50 attacks na ko mo so saa and I saw na top of my first no more nipa. Say bi na atamfo ne person omo yemi o. Say bi na Ghana for no mo mpɛ ma asɛm ni bi ni metamfo for no pɛ so mo yɛ me. Asɛm bia bɛka bia no mo dane no. Obinim say miracles wo yɛ nyina no ɛyɛ fake. Menka ne ba bia. Obinim say miracles wo yɛ nyina no ɛyɛ asa. Menka ne ba bia. Obinim say miracles wo yɛ nyina nya no korɛ. Menka ne ba bia. Obinim say wo yɛ nyina nya no korɛ ɛnyɛ papa. Ɛnyɛ no korɛ. Menka ne ba bia. Hey! Asma men kan ni ye twa atoro to me so.
Ghana.
Wonu say yadofo ni bi kran so agye adi.
Oh yes.
Abolo so fo no yadofo na bi agye adi.
Bi agye adi pa.
Mr. Wiafe kasa.
Papa ibi adwen wo fom.
Wo ka abolo so fo no.
Yeah, bebre adwen wo fom.
Ah okay. Wagye adi.
Omo ma agye adi no. Adwen wo fom.
Ah. Obinim say. Me so men kan ba bia. Hwemanim. Aya ensem bi say ensole a enkase papa. Yenka ya no ntum. Hwe. Wonti adwuma na se. Yes. Wo kama no tum. Me say ya no mo de ayede nkrofo bi ayere.
Atoto fom.
Me catch a strategy of demons.
Yes.
A Satan strategy. Menkasa no na fa nkrofo adwen. Baby a dim boni be kono. Dim papa na nduru ho. Obinim say. Bishop Obinim say. Angel Obinim say.
Na edie na papa e ka no.
Pacho say.
Ebi mo say na edie na papa e ka no. E ya mpa na.
Ah ebi ebusa
o bebrebe frɛ phone so. Bebre. Na ne papa e ka no e ya mpa na chichiri mu kakra. Na de minim say o de o kan.
Na asɛm na me kan ya.
Eno ne asɛm.
O bubusa say ya mpa.
Ebi mo kura mpo se wo se asɔre na gu. Na watoto nsɔre nim.
Me de me matete. De matete a UT before twa atoro ato me so. Na me bra ofolisa pon. Na downfo ene kwa me despite but omo nya busua. But me no ofolisa pon ya busua.
Yes.
Because me papa sorry, me mame abnada pa me Teliza. On the di ofolisa pon papa echi. Ti senye me bra ofolisa pon. Ye nyina ye busua me mame ne di ne papa echi. Because no ofolisa pon papa kra no ba me ma sole abolo so asole.
Okay.
Ti me bra no emi nua pa na kwa me despite so me ni asem.
Yes.
Senye kwa me despite ni ofolisa pon me di mani atom so me brothers ni omo pa ka UT before na e kan news no. Omo ne ka me fire wo mo love. Sa emba ne mema bi no mo bubo me din bone no.
Yes.
Hey. Mo ka asem ato me so. Abramen ka ne ba bia. Wenya video kitwa bi. Obi atwa video kitwa bi. E dia bremu a na mo de no na e ka ma asem. Abramu wo hwehwe me number so a mo benya.
That is it.
Enye se wo mo so mo ntin se ofolisa pon ya me bra o.
Matipa.
O mati se ofolisa pon ya me bra.
Yes.
Me maame na di ofolisa pon papa echi.
Yes.
Mo friend Mr. Ofoli kro no say ye pe bishop Obinim number kro de be ye.
O de be mo.
Wo de be ma na ka ma friend say papa chire mu chire ye. Na UT before party ma ka me ho asem bone. Na Angel TV before so wa ka me ho asem bone. Angel TV before. Me respect Kwaku Oteng. Because so Kwaku Oteng we obi aso mpene ho asem.
Debi.
TV station bebre. FM stations bebre. Wo hwe gay ya owo Royal TV ya. Ne ho se be ma no.
Yes.
E fe se wan se wa Bonsu.
Na no se eyi.
Me ye sure so won ho kra wo be ma nsole.
Eye na so obai ko twem kura sentine nko yie.
Wo say
o papa yie na so obai no twem kura no sentine nko yie.
Wo say me papa yie na so obai obetwa mu wo mo ho no.
Papa na sentine nko.
Na ne ho sentine kura nko yie. Na ne ho bon.
Papa.
Hey, ne ho tan yo.
Papa.
Mr. Rafik, me will say wo kra wo ne nchen say won free hanko.
Taba na obe won am say on free hanko mo men.
On first ma me say wa Bonsu ase hwan. Yeah. Me nim say ne ho tan sa. Ana ne nan ya sa nanta bi. On run ho kra wo yo be ma kra ho nsole.
Any the trum say Chinese ni.
Eti owo be ma won life.
Menya sure.
Hey, say gan ne ho tan sa.
Na honam kan.
But what the TV show a wo ni different o.
Camera.
Camera. Me who no me papa yi na say gan ne ho tan sa.
Na wo fa me ho pa me say eh.
Ana ne ho so bon.
Kai. Enye.
Hey.
Enye kura. Ka me pa ka kire no.
Na be ma won life mu de.
Enu ni asem.
Ana be ma kro me pena hwe no.
Obebre.
No ba ro no kra ho nsole.
Kan. Totobi.
Na hwe oba ne nanim a obeka me masem.
Betty ne sere.
What is say?
Na Betty ne sere pa.
And I be so run ho nsole no. Enti anu na wo keka no.
Aso peja dade.
Wo be ma. O ne ho tan dodo. Mi mo ni pada bat. Ne ho tan dodo.
Anu odin.
So no kwa no oba wo wi ase kran ka me nwale da.
Debi.
Wudi mi say ofre me sofo ba ku bi wo kumase. Kwabena wo kire. Ache o. Ache. Bishop Obinim dia me pen. Say me wo YouTube.
Yes.
Me wo Facebook.
Live.
Oba bonte be challenge ya me di audio ne beba.
Yes.
Kwabena wo kire record no. Kwabena wo kire okuma sofo kese tenten no. De na fu kese o record no. Kwabena send ma me. Bishop Obinim dia me pen asem. Na me pen na keka nsensem bi. Na za pu me de we dey. Open masem for day. Asofo nyina na pen asem. Na de na de. E wa me phone so sisia. Ba na me hu ne physical da. Me hu me papa yi na ase na say eti gen woni no wote Royal TV no odi kwasa asem sa na ho tan sa.
Na nantunu.
What is say?
Na nantunu ase di blow ahye ho.
You perform the cancer for apa. A strategy.
Oh yes.
Hwe ma ye adwuma na che.
Ampa.
Hwe me se ma ye den.
Ma ye adwuma na che.
Omo peso omo de me to form.
Ensem say na kwadwo ekekan e de che UTV for. E di bi nso kof ma eye sister ye fe no Oheneba. Enti Oheneba te ye no Oheneba say na me nso me reply kwadwo. And obey a short video be the mark you catch it says was starting a grow here on the baby pepe. See assembly you obey a video with tears more kind of video him as sometimes what is a could you have a can answer tears more kind.
Kwasia bi ti so Obinim what's the day? We share no way yase na me hobon. Obinim me mo duada fi se wo me. Nanso ne sa wo Obinim we share na me chia wo no. Sa na me hobon. Na me hom as me hobon a me du cha wiase abosom ni wiase nsuo nyina se abosom ni wuni Obinim sa nkwase asem no nkura asem no o se me ni di atam what I say but unya asem bia beka ujimi na egu wa sorry na se na odo ani bi de beso mi so dia Obinim ameka asem kiro me repeat bi mu say first no na e de ho akwache enkwasom bi mu ana na e de wan sidia na sabe yentimi nkasa enne Obinim minu bedi pepepe what's the end adana hu me wo yi aso na me ho bon me repeat Obinim me ka me nsam stia sana me ho ana ase me ho bon ma du ja nsu a wo wi ase nyina sa me so na me so me ho bon ana so me ho mo me so me de me so me ho eje wi ase nsu nyina Obinim Jimmy into on baby say Kwaku dro on kwase akeka okeka ofra ho nya me sofo Obinim me ni di atamu patunim kwa me nso achimi unim nyansa ofra ho sofo mo se Kristo baaye enema bebre na didi no odi na edi wo asam kakra bi wachiminti na wudi nkwasa asam obinim me no be wi pe me nu Afia so asene kakra do de chewu me ka che osame wo time na uma nkwasi afode sekan ni we ba Royal TV no that time na me so acha keto ne ya manyini ya kan timi nye jimisam enkyere me obinim me to me nye makeup me timi nye me no yere fon no na se ho obinim mendeme na we yasi debi ameka asem bi yasi atenten huo tawo to a enhuri entreja obinim minim sa odi wajimi obi anim se wala kan se wo kasa ko ekira na wutwa ntebi obinim minu be kon pe obinim mi se die wo kon pe me na abedi mbedi agro na sa wadi mbedi agro yo how can pe afedo be hu ye be ko ajase ifo jimi ma so
oba no se obinim ensem wa bekeka ede akire mi no onso bebo na adwe akire kwadwo obinim ena obo na adwe akire kwadwo obinim na kwadwo mi busa akwashin wa ntu gina property so na wutimi kan se o miracles a waye nyina ye no kore no kwadwo mame mbubo o miracles ne bi nkire wate nizine se wutie obi ayas na ye no kore won na ye no kore se wutie obi ayas ede age award Jesus wo odo nice obi ayas na wutia edi age award Jesus won nte ya mpa o sa award no fabra ni mfe buai award na o de gi o Jesus won Jesus ekoye urade nyankopon ekoyi issue award de ma o time ado nice obi yere ayina so obi enua ba ayase a wubu agum no fa sa award ne bra na nyina yehwe buai kodwo anti kodwo say awards no a de ma no na se ne o ma wa ye nyina no kore first no ti obi ayase kodwo etu da obi so na wo so wutu no honhom wuri ohunhum wura ne mu amani pa kora sori afiri fom na we nyina no kore ho we nyina hunu se we nyina no kore obi atima ye mre wu da no so gi no we bi na oja ba start ya wo ye no we nyina anti kwadwo we nyina no kore wonsem man kofo e kan ma o ma ho ato no wo so mpe o tonton stickers ton eta obi ni sticker o ton no e die pan ne firi mu ba de ma o members na nkata kwadwo anti we nyina na wo ton no ye events insio ana sticker ana bundle ana se den card den na ensambasa sanu ma wi na tonton ye no e die mfaso die pan na de bre wow church members o moti kromo no faso bia maso wuchi obeyere ana obi ged ne to wakonyam 2 in 1 na oda na chi na ofemfam no ewo eya so dem pulpit we nyina ye no kora won we nyina ye no kora nti so mo kasa wo se nyina anya yenjindi won unu obigire na da ho no ana wo afa wo se a wo sere no saa ne ma we nyina yenjintum no kora meboa we nyina ye miracle Jesus ma se beye obi bubugu ha wo ye paralyze wo bubu a wotimi mani nyane ye sore ya o so se wuru bota no wonam aso dem ho we nyina yenjintum no kora meboa saa we nyina no ye no kora kodwu sala be so ka che Ghana fo ana we nyina uji wani utu wani ede hye obani ema oba hunu ade etimi ye prophecy we nyina ye no kora ho kodwu we udi nsembe ba wo we yo 2024 we nyanko ye nim ba bia o 8 February we yo we nyina ye no kora meboa utu wani wura obani na obatimi hu bibi no ni nyina ye njintum uma akotre firi nsurum epie ye no kotre ofiri nsuom pie kodwo we nyina tie no kore kodwo we nyina no kore obi a wabubu agu ho da no so bia mpai boma no sore koye o papa wi na wusu menka wo yawo betu papa wi na wusu ti kodwo we nyina ye no kore anti UTV for san wuti a wompe no we nyina ye no kore uma oba besia mame besia timi so cement de ko hin fa firi twidi ba breman eko mirika koye beto waso dem ho an obuto so collapse nsu ne nyina ne se wa man lotto number so ntwa wo ya aso den wan kotwa nto mfa ade wi nsu ano nkombara emeje foforo no kodwo we nyina ye no kore kodwo o record nyew kodwo we nyina ye no kore Jesus na soma o ma odo nice obi ayase eyi passport free mpabuom ka che se we issue passport visa ene eyi wo mpabuom kodwo nti we nyina ye no kore we are sure sense ma UTV for sign with you unko ensen ko akodo mase se o masan with you wo san de asema ba magana for atiase se utimi yi passport free ushum kodwo we nyina ye no kore ento mo kan unye din mo mo ntwan on sign with ma ho nto wo wuti we are sure so betima yi passport free ushum We are sure pa so betime renew passport wo shoe mu. We are sure pa so betime issue visa e wo shoe mu kwadwo nti we nyina ye no kore kwadwo. Me na me bu se we nyina nti kwadwo ye no kore. Anti wani abra would be defend this adi kwadwo. Umanko 14 time ye stickers ne wan fire service fo nyina titim. Kwadwo nti we nyina ye no kore. Yes san uti a udi mi kan san abeka se men san uti. Uchi obi hunhum afiri ni mu asan de aba behim kwadwo. Ubutu oba abesia so ana oputu ko wiem se de wo frekremu ana wano no ohwene nyina asi baby esi aso dem o kwadwo nti we nyina ye no kore anti obi san wuti a so ntia se obi abubu agu oso ni mu kekansi ani ema ni person ko fi kwadwo enti sansem a mayi achi o nyina a wo si ni nyina ye no kore nti UTV fo twa asora tu si nti kwadwo wo gyina nyame ani magi ade ya sa ma ho bio mene wank ma ye din o mene wo kwadwo Obinim ankama ye din kame nkasa kura biem na ade chibia na koka kwadwo obenya asem o kwadwo enso sonsam so tia futu ombura futu so enso sonsam so na neoma waye wo Ghana ho no kwadwo ni nyina ye ntro enti obi se wo se wo ni nyina ye azan twa so na wa wonim wotim se miracle bia ni ho a waye ye ntro wonim wotim chai sani o mana kwadwo be na benya asem na kwota pon ti nkomo na meeting ni pa 2024 de wi a nyankopon na nkasa ebe pumu asofo no odo ho san ba kwadwo we de obi ameso mu ha o mesia mafia wo Ghana ho no mini wa mesin ko obi kama asem a meye di mi mfi ni pakoro obi na se wa ben na wo ben a we ntoka be ni wo obi na se wa ben na se wa ben so ntoka be ni wo kwadwo twitwa sansem we so na di asem bebreo twitwa sansem we nyina so abusuafo de make mo no menya adwen tadia kwadwa Obinim aba abonten a wo ba be ko saa enoma ya woni gusu a wo hwe wo screen su se saa enoma we nyina ya ade a wo ye physical waye spirit amane bia wo di mugidi ni papa wu yo wanyane ne papa obi ba wu a woni ba bia wanyane no wo papa nso na ewu a wo su nyane papa nso wanyane kwadwo saa enoma we enye no kore nti se UTV fo ka tie no ase na wo gina ba bi ka kire oba abesia se ne ho kankan kwadwo eyi ase na den na gay itimi ben wa utimi hwian hu ze ne ho bon kwadwo Obinim eyi ase na gay ba eyi a wo kan no tam ben na utimi hwian hu ze ne ho bon wutina property so we so ye preaching obi atime dwara betena ho be pie preaching se ho ahwan no because mini ma content ankofo mko fa sorry wudi we na ye preaching a chenkofo kwadwo Obinim ewiase ben kra na nipa te ne ho ase wo so mpen minu ya kwadwo ya menye ne den me ya na minu ya kwadwo nso de agimisem abusuafo obetimi do comment about the asema akwadwo kan wo ne se emuda ho wo da mo hu de mayi a kirewi ana mwate de wakeka na me hu videos a mayi a kirew pictures a mayi miracles a do akwadwo Obinim na nkasa waye no mo hu ne se asa asemu ya akwadwo kan no kore sembe kwa ma beshi obi oba so bia nyame nhyama menka mo comment kakra menka mo comment na me fentwa to sembe kura ne nipa te ne ho ase oso mpe chese da bia chinchine atwan da bia chinchine atwan kwadwo ti ase da so obetena se pan mu obi age fans agya no pan de kwadwo ko jimi kura ono so beji sa fans ni bi kono so beji sa fans ni bi what I say first na konadu me hu sa mu nyina mo so Jordan Alumenu me hu mu nyina Marvin me hu mu nyina sanso ana me hu eye cha so kire me hu so pa Charity me hu Betty Johnson Sachik me hu producer number 1 me hu pa Obapa Jimfo me hu mu nyina mpacho videos a mabo e wo page we so nyina wo de wan kasafo adwen kire bra nyoma wan kasa wa hwe yi no wa wadwene mu uhu ni sen ma babs me chia pa mama woli me chia on so pa me chia village doctor me chia on so pa me chia obi bia otai Ekuonaba echi in and out 24/7 support Ekuonaba to the world muni ho ameni ho when the bia me kasa asebo no me adamu too much na me hira mu bebre se mu da so a time echi few days me hu me live na Afia pick course na mo tuma boy me say sa topic we no kan kofo be kansam minim pa ba mo fansam ningu comment section ho mu nyina comment me hu ni nyina me kan ni nyina so na me reply the meet me bia so mu fam bra comment section ho so very important pa me tin de Ekuonaba Ekuonaba television ya me hira mu pa bye bye good night.
Kotua mamine kana be trust say. Kwaku tin di sika esisi wo bia wo di sika esisi wan. Dada no wato nsa wo Kwaku tin wo. Dada no wato nsa wo Kwaku tin wo. Eye waku amako na afa afun. And I'm afraid director. Now catch a director say, unfair commander. And no catcher will say, what will my corner far from fair director, so unfair commander. And the director catcher will say, assembly will new she. That one confront commander. Now will be car. A tiano mutua, and to mukona moko for Afia. Afia ni police near. Ya signing na Ekuonaba ewa donko company ho. Enti Afia no mo Afia no mo na de papa na beta obegu n'ani mu asemebo a. O de papa no aba betena ho. Begu papa n'ani mu ase. Sofolight police station no. Me so obi anko Sofolight police station. Enko busa say donko company abeye complain wo ana. Is a donko company the complainant? Is Dr. Kwaku the complainant? Why do you people always want to use every opportunity to disrespect the man? What we are Akua, and remember to do what you're saying, and I know what's up till now. Almost show you I show mommy, show papa. Do what saying. When you Kwaku tinja, I know for Ampunana. When you Kwaku tino, one from Punana. Don't bring yourself. Don't look for any opportunity to disrespect the man because respect yourself. We will not keep quiet for you to disrespect Kwaku. One thing they make a wake up from your high horses. A Donko group of company has done what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I blame myself. Kwaku timba 2 years ago into the pono. Now that time, so for free fana wo no. Now the yira beje ne car. Now when the Charlotte na Charlotte gani di saying. And nam. Na aduane amatokra na munya skantria. I don't blame you. If you don't have any respect for the man, respect him for the fact that if you are utimona tomao, ka utimona to for all your bullshit, he's feeding you. If you have scores to settle out of where I eat. Do not drag a Donko company on social media again because you have me to deal with. So what do you fucking understand that? Because moya papa nkasa, moya papa nkasa, moya papa nkasa, and to work your mwakwa, I have nicer crutches, and I'm a Donko group of companies. What the fuck can you do to us? I am waiting. I am waiting. When you are not going to be son, I told the Sikane Johnny. Kwaku ting and for police. And country police say, Yen Jano, now one yet, until you are threatening him. What the fuck do you think you are, madam? Good. Ghana police should come and do what? Ghana police should come and do what? What do we be kind of Jania? Courts never have a chill. Wako to bin sana ye frawa wu dwane no. Wako to bin sana ye frawa wu dwane no. Courts ne ke ba chill ne police. And the ba chill do wako courts. Enti no papa ni new sine. Wo na wo pesa papa ni di sika. Eko sisi wo hieni. Because you are the one that called the man to call the commander. And the man told you he is not doing anything like that. Because Oheneba said you. Obetro says Kafo do musika esisi here for no. Now was a utro. natural. Ama, that is the issue. That is the issue. Ekuya mo Akua de dada. Dada akoje nsa e will be shop. Mama ne di abawa or magazine post office. And dada akose wo collect mama ne nsa 55,000 Ghana cedis since last year June. And dada no so ko ye no wan koje nsa no wa abawa ne nsam. Abawa ne manager e di owusu. Enti owusu ne ton nsa no ma dada. And abawa say media say na wo kan no. I don't know. Police for na china na ko bi do kana wo dwane no en ka wan na chi no obi do kana afinie wo hwehwe na wu no obi do kana 1 year ni oni wudi kwani no en ka me na me kwa kwachi na ma no ana wo prophet Obi do ka yan kwase sanade obi do ka yan ho obi do kan so police nchi no you people think that you've got some following to kwase asembia ma hey I am warning all of you a free neck and so on ma catch them Father Dixon out Kwaku off. Listen, it goes on and on. Father Dixon out. Kwaku off. So what bother ma obeti when you madam? Uti. So what bother papa na so wodi. And I'm a menti. Una we be ube gu Kwaku ti ani mase. Egwe makwa efia wuti mwanya to ma wa wuti. Why? There would ye papa way. I was at told fie ma wutina mu no. I would be fat phone and typing a tia papa no. You are heartless and a wicked soul. Leave a donko group of companies out of your childish behavior. What's your answer no? What's your answer no? Namun to wabusu ya fofu no. I don't go company. Who quite yes a complainant I don't go. Who yes a complainant or I don't go. Yes a complaint. You think you can intimidate the man and disrespect. Share when you Jimmy no. Anna, the rich is suppressing the poor. One of fair. Papa said unfair commander no. Now so unfair commander no we on what authority? I then one fair papa. If you believe, if you strongly say the rich papa need to me be our different commander a year. I then one fair papa. Kwaku te one na wo dada. Kwaku te wo ya ubusu yani. One in the Kaware, Papa no waja, wabo, my papa no waja, and Draman so one I do two wabo. And yes, Papa na cast wabo, Draman, one Akofa boys, of which we all knew, and a Papa na chill, and a yes, what you two say, oh, and Mamma 7 no more candidate, no Munana, no more that, but only jail for Trimpana, and a Papa ni Jao, Papa no make come, I will be anti you, needing I to cross in a menti, what of you do what's name. Watoka ma wutim so woni buo ma no Ekuya woni buo ma papa no woni buo adanka driver of companies na kwasi asebwe na me beka no matu milika na makodo nso aba saade na wo ye ne bi na me ka kira broko no abroko I say I will bring you down I will bring them ka say Kwaku tie me na me feed you me Kwaku ma kwa broko me na me feed you if I am down I will lick the ground. But guess what you will lick? My anus. And you will say, who make a set here don't go because I want a papa na kuma one, papa no, or wua, neginum, almost wesika, and family wo. I was your phone in the name say, oh boy, drum mine, and what you go ye. Tieni, Tienam Kawasumi. Dear Tosumi, if you bring Dr. Kwaku down. Kwaku the feed you. If he is down, he will lick the ground. You will lick his hands. I want to speak wisdom into your head. Kwaku na suna ding. And then na suna dia. And kawukrano. And kawajine manu gufi eshawu. Udi oye nya uzi enka. Uzi enka. Papa no na esa apa ya chow. Papa no na esa apa ya chow. Send a man into ye now. For unquasi assembly when ye and so adieno. Anyone nanta. For unquasi assembly when ye and so adieno. Anyone nanta se trata ye ni bano. A free Kwaku. So what if you not make no? Yes. Don't bring your shit to a donko company. If you're a big girl, go and pay that money. Go and pay that money. Just as you pay bloggers to disrespect your baby daddy, go and pay that money. What did the person make catch no? You were new free papa na so. Because papa no ankasa, yen century, your baby did do what them. So what shimia? What shady akofa unro? Do you understand? And you can fucking go to hell. I will meet you there with witnesses. Oh, boy, I want it. Would shimmy no be anti me cash na would shimmy? Would share? Laga teach I want you more. Lord, now when I see so is that what they tell you?
Bakon e baye. Em say na say mo social media no mo share ne niam kakra osofo Obinim or so yeso abafu yi a wo say wo no yi otimi tu na oni yesu tu na mbegu no so na mnifa na wadane okode otimi ba wo daye mo otimi dane wo otimi jane edane jata na no kwa de ni shoe mu wase oye kurufasa am obi passport ne mpabu am shoe wo chim ne na say ya ye yin na passport se shoe nim e wa so de mo ni abade so ye na ne nkom se bia no o sakwa de na anika se ni munya bi hwe pen a
da bi o
o mo ko de kom se
na ma so mi ti de
o omo salai ti entente oni adaje omo doso tudu wonu a wenche obewu enche obenya ka wenche obe kromfo he wo ba benya sika obi behu ya kan ya na wutwa mako nya da benya adaje gina obi sase ade na mewu o nya adaje nya no
da bi wa nkontem ni wi be video to aso
eti wo ba ya no obi de ye enche obewu enche obenya ka nesi obe da ne kromfo wo ba be kwa broche ensam
me na o ka enche obewu me so for kan foforo
enye no go osofo Obinim say wotimi dane wowo eba wo ufie wotimi dane wowo wotimi dane jata besa wo yade wotimi di sika kwa command na akoto bank account nsam de ye nyina eye nim nsam ensam de wa brubi so na no de wono abetena social media so asem de ato dwan nsam ro kanya wo boa enye no kre
so ye angel no
so wo boa
oni yesu tu fa no
wo boa ona ni jata bi ehu ontimi nya wo bi ahu ontimi mesa wo yade bia wo dayem ontimi bebo nwura wo dayem o se sanse no kan nyina wo kan no wa na no kokotwea wa twea san wo boa na onye sa de bia ontimi nya kurufasa emma so ni kurufasa magic ontimi nya kurufasa emma passport Ghana passport ya ye ko immigration for ye ko ontimi nya mane ma me show shoe mu passport office on ye ko de no se nya no kre nyo no ye sa de no ni nyina wo boa na ye na da osisi de wa man nsa so nyame ama na kwanya second chance nti wo bo kokwasa wo ya nso abraba wo bo ne ye ntro abraba asesa no no angel Obinim de say wasesa onti se kan ni biem da ma fo say wo bo wo ya wa amwani ana wo de kwasi ada beda na ojuoda wo boa asese asori ni nipa na esa enti wo pekwan bia fo so man kofon so sese de wa very genuine enti obesa akoro enti wudi a wan hwe ya kokoma sa ade ato ani o kasa hwe so wan hwefo ye ba be bo tim setie ni ena ono asofo Obinim so no kura nie se okase onyame mfre na wo bo se ono akasa no owadoma chede wonimu o timi de ne nsa to so bo mpa ye man senchenisi eno de na yade owo na emomo ahote ene mrento asem nti wono ade bi be frafra mu ena mtimi tu ena me ne papa Yesu na anokra body ne video bi ajamsa wante wo si wo tu ye ma na atabani bi no ni angels ni tu ye okọ na bibi gina otu no se bonsa mi jaboru ni na bonsa se ayemia bonsa se me ya pass ama odane angel we nya yense wono ke ko se nyina wo boa
translator mi ka sem bi beginning no so kai efa ensama ye dia to me so a menkan say Obinim me se me ye fake miracles am ye nyina ya azan me said ye me nyina anya no kre me say me refimpo Obinim said ye miracle so ye nyina anya no kre aza me say atro me nya papa me de aduro na ye adwuma me say ma asole agu nti me pani pa foforo aba ma asole ntia ebi se me collection asa medical ya kasa me nkasa bio ba sa tam ye nya ntwa nto mu e wo TV ni YouTube ni Facebook eti je me kan no bone tofa fama omo hwe no because me kasa me say ka no waka tam beko eti wu chirechirem se de me kan no na ya dofofo ni hu ni se eye atamfo na dane me kasa no na eye omo mpem asem na dane me kasa no na eye bone na omo pem ompe so omo yade me to fom if he said old pastors no ame no omo start ye no ebi da fom awukọ na asole am si nipa 50 kura wonya abe nipa 20 30 40 20 30 40 me se minima sofo be 20 omo ho adwen wo mitrem 20 met ma body ni sese oyem behyew obo me boni di kro beka se papa sa me boni di beka se papa ono so ka ho na asole da fom woko na asole a wenye nipa ye 40 35 50 30 20 something asofo be 20 bi ho adwen wo mitrem ebi ye mpanifo kura che me ka so panyin che me o starting kura gya me ene bi nso me so me start gya wo mo be 1 year 2 years ebi so da no mo nyina na start ye ma shada leste sankofo ni din wo metirim eno na dwu se na me check sankofo be 20 pastors e boro ba 20 pa na metima bo mu din se ene de me wo concrete evidence wo ko ma sole a unya nipa 50 attacks na ko mo so saa and I saw na top of my first no more nipa. Sebina atamfo ne person mo yemi o. Sebina Ghana for no mo pɛ masem ni bi ni metamfo for no person mo yemi. Asem bia beka bia no mo dane no. Obinim say miracles wo ye nyina no e fake menka ne ba bia. Obinim say miracles wo ye nyina na ya za menka ne ba bia. Obinim say miracles wo ye nyina nya no kore menka ne ba bia. Obinim si do ye nyina anya ne kre enya papa enya ne kre menka ne ba bia asma menka ne ye twa atoro to me so
Ghana
wonu say ya dofo ni bi kran so agye adi
oh yes
abolo so fo no ya dofo ne bi agye adi
pa
Mr. Afia kasa
papa ibi adwen wo fom
wo ka abolo so fo no
yeah bebre adwen wo fom
okay wagye adi
omo ma gye adi no adwen wo fom
Obinim say me so men kan ne ba bia hwemanim aya ensem bi say ensole a enkase papa yenka ya no ntum hwe wonti adwuma na se wo kama no tum me say ya no mo de ayede nkrofo bi ayere
atoto fom
me catch a strategy of demons
yes
a Satan strategy menkasa no na fa nkrofo adwen baby din boni be kono din papa na nduru ho Obinim say Bishop Obinim say Angel Obinim say
na edie na papa e ka no
pacho say
ebi mo say na edie na papa e ka no e yampa na
ebi ebusa
o bebrebe frefon so bebre na ne papa e ka no e yampa na chichiri mu kakra na de minim say o de o kan
na seme na me kan ya
eno ne asem
o bubusa say yampa
ebi mo kura mpo say wo say asore na gu na watoto nsore nim
me de me matete a UT before twa atoro ato me so na me bra ofolisa pon na downfo ene kwa me despite but omunya busua but me no ofolisa pon ya busua because me papa sorry me mame abnada pa mame Teliza on the di ofolisa papa echi ti senye me bra ofolisa pon ye nyina ye busu me mame ne di ne papa echi because no ofolisa pon papa kra no ba me ma sole abolo so asole
okay
ti me bra no emi nua pa na kwa me despite so me ni asem senye kwa me despite ni ofolisa pon me di mani atom so me brothers no mo pa ka UTV before na e kan news no o mo ne ka me fire wo mo love sa emba ne mema bi no mo bubo me din bone no
yes
hey mo ka se mato me so abramen ka ne ba bia wenya video kitwa bi obi atwa video kitwa bi e dia bremu a na mo de no na e ka ma asem abramu wo hwehwe me number so amubenya
that is it
enye se wo mo so mo nte se ofolice apon ya me bra o
matipa
o mate se ofolice apon ya me bra
yes
me ma me na di ofolice apon papa echi
yes
mo friend Mr. Ofoli kro no say ye pe bishop Obinim number kro de be dey
de be mo
de be ma na ka ma friend say papa chire mu chire ye na UTV for pa ti ma ka me ho asem bone na Angel TV for so wa ka me ho asem bone Angel TV before. Me respect Kwaku Oteng. Because so Kwaku Oteng we obi aso mpene ho asem.
Debi.
TV station bebre. FM stations bebre. Wo hwe gay ya owo Royal TV ya. Ne ho se be ma no.
Yes.
E fe se wan se wa Bonsu.
Na no se eyi.
Me ye sure so wo no ho kra wo be ma kra be ma nsole.
Eye na so obai ko twem kura sentine nko yie.
Wo say
o papa yie na so obai no twem kura no ho sentine nko yie.
Wo say me papa yie na so obai obetwa mu wo mo ho no.
Oh papa na sentine nko yie.
Na ne ho sentine kura nko yie. Na ne ho bon.
Papa.
Ha ne ho tan yo.
Papa.
Mr. Riafik, me will say wo kra wo ko ne nchen say won free hanko.
Taba na obe won am say o free hanko mo me.
On first ma me say wa Bonsu ase hwan. Yeah. Minim sa ne ho tan sa ana ne nan ya sa nanta bi onro no ho kura wo yo be ma kura ho nsole
any the tirum say Chinese ni
eti owo be ma won life
menya sure
he say ga ne ho tan sa
na honam kan
but what the TV show a wo ne different o
camera
camera me hu no me papa yi na sam ana say ga ne ho tan sa
na wo fa me ho pa me say
ana ne ho so bon
kai enye kura ka me pa ka kire no
na be ma won life mu de
eno ni asem
ana be ma kro me pena hwe no
obebre
na oba ro no kra ho nsole
kan totobi
na hwe oba ne nanim a obe ka me masem
Betty ne sere.
What is say?
Na Betty ne sere pa.
And I be so run one ho nsole no. And say I don't okay kan no.
Aso peja dade.
Why be ma? O ne ho tan dodo. Mi mo ni pada bat. Ne ho tan dodo.
Ano odin.
So no kwa no oba wo wi ase kran ka me nwale da.
Debi.
Wodi mi say ofre me sofo ba ko bi e wo kumase. Pabana watchere. Ache o. Ache. Bishop Obinim dia me pen. Say me wo YouTube.
Yes.
Me wo Facebook.
Live.
Oba bonte be challenge ya me di audio ne beba.
Yes.
Pabana watchere record no. Pabana watchere o kumase sofo kese tenten no. De na fu kese o record no. Pabana send ma me. Bishop Obinim dia me pen asem. Na me pen na ke kansan bi. Na za pu me de way there. Open masem for day. Asofo nyina na mpe na asem. Na de na de. E wa me phone so sisia. Ba na me hu ne physical da. Me hu me papa yi na ase na say eti gen woni no wote Royal TV no odi kwasa asem sa na ho tan sa.
Na nantunu.
What you say?
Na nantunu ase di blow ahye ho.
nipa fo na cancel fo apa a strategy
oh yes
hwɛ ma yɛ adwuma na kyɛ
ampa
hwɛ me se ma yɛ dɛ
wa yɛ adwuma na kyɛ
ɔmo pɛ so ɔmo de me to fam
kwasia bi ti so Obinim wo se dɛ wo hia no wo yi ase na me ho bon Obinim me mu odua da fi se wo me nanso nnɛ sa wo Obinim wo hia are na me chia wo no sa na me ho bon na me ho ase me ho bon a me du gya wiase abosom ni wiase nsuo nyina se abosom ni wuni Obinim sa wo nkwase asem no nkura asesem no o se me ni di atam what I say but unya asem bia beka ujimi na egu wa sorry na say na wodo ani bi de beso emi so dia Obinim ameka asem kiro me repeat bi mu say first no na e de ho akɔhye enkwasum bi mu ana na e de wan sidia na sabe yentimi nkasa enne Obinim menu bedi pepepe what's the adana hu me wo yi aso na me ho bon me repeat Obinim me ka me nsam stia sana me ho ana ase me ho bon a du gya nsu a wo wiase nyina sa me so na me so me ho bon ana so me ho mo me so me de me so me ho eje wiase nsu nyina Obinim Jimmy into on baby say Kwaku duro on kwase akeka okeka ofra ho nya me sofo Obinim me ni di atamu patunim kwa me nso achimi unim nyansa ofra ho sofo mo se Kristo baaye enema bebre na didi no odi na edi edi wo asam kakra bi wachimi nti na wudi nkwase asam Obinim me no bewi pe me nu Afia so asene kakra do di chewo me ka che osame wo time na uma nkwase afode sekan ni we ba Royal TV no that time na me so acha keto ne ya manyini ya kanti mi nye jimi sam ankyere me Obinim me to me nye makeup me ti me nye me no yere fon no na so Obinim mendeme na we yasim de bia me ka asem bi yase atenten hu ta woto a enhuri entreja Obinim minim sa odi wajimi obi anim se wala ka ase wo kasa ko akira na wutwa ntebi Obinim minu be kon pe Obinim me se de wo kon pe me na abedi mbedi agro na asa wadi mbedi agro yo akon pe afedo be hu ye be ko aja se ifo jimi ma so
we are sofo be ma sofo babra jina ha oni obi na ye adwuma ana wa no wa start wo de wa sha se wo park so school demo wa start ne wo hen valanda empichire baabi eye duase eye hen wa start ne wo bi hall eye kitchen kura no wa start abra kitchen ko fia rade ma sikamra won chen first midi Jesus to me ebe wura wo mu watimi aye adwuma ne ye ahye Yesu ani munyam se wo ye evangelist wo ye apostle wo ye bishop wo ye doctor wo ye teacher wo ye pastor wo ye prophet title bi da so bia no Jesus to me a odi ama me no be impact bia ma no watimi aye adwuma ne ye ahye Yesu ani munyam mo amwo next no mo fa mo santo me ye ne lie by lie baby a me fa no me the spiritual lexic no e wura body nim e the powers na wura mu take it kasuta party ni akaba zatu nimbi
andiya musuri
kantonia
akuni ya barutundi
barikinte
basiburi yaka
basunderi yaka
kuri kambari
kanoni yata
barutundi
baruku
basikin bugansandore
kanori kimberi
basikin bu ali
sakuri antari kamba
bakiri bukundura
sakuri yakia
bari guduri
zorini
isembu yaka
barikin tarama
basikribu
asuwani
bandikalu
tarika
singra
sakumu
apudu
tarika asuwani ki barikuni tarika
siburia
duri mikimbo
siburia
akuri tarika suwa
kaributu
banuru kuni sakiri kinku atunia
bam
zani binia tari
sudua
oh kimirika
akini musindara
nani kumukoro
bari musindi bamundagara
nani mukori yakani
andu kurin samboni bitundi yaka
nani kumuriki
basidi
tari
bako
bari kunoria
bandiku asiki
bari kunuri kimba
sanda bamuri kimba
nani kimukuni yasi
singura
bari imu
Abukinsindia.
Mamre.
Babudundi.
Zakumrika.
Abumbundi.
Zamurukundi.
Abumbundi.
Burukundia.
Asingidia.
Kamuru.
Asiburia.
Camburia. Asacha ubeye o say I meye.
Obeye.
Camburia.
The meaning is that
we busa say ubeye. Now so agisu meye. Camburia say ubeti maye o say I meye. Ubeye o say meye. Camburia. Say say ubeye adwuma no. Ubeye say Yesu nmunyam. So Camburia. Adana Usi, why are you crying?
Papa. Dementia, say yes, baby. I would say angel met down to no Usu. Now don't be an Usu. Papa. Angel met down to no Usu. Why not, Tommy? May the Lord take you home safely.
Amen.
Wherever you are, may the Lord take you home safely.
Amen.
Baby, I will be able to find good wisdom.
Wherever you are going, may the Lord take you home safely.
Who pay mess up a 2 hours or die?
Hello, Ebusiafo. So, Pesifita structure of for dear, and then I found Hokodom is unique laser whitening. Unique laser whitening, I will toothpaste from Kwam. So, what did you choose? Say, and ma was seen a fita. Na a fita no sono. Na a and carboni beer when no mobia. Any tea stains, coffee stains, smoking stains, beer when no mobia. Unique laser whitening product. Ebe yini nyine free summer kama. The only say, ubetu so. Na udi egu o brush no so. Uwia na udi chuchu usini so nyina kama. Uwia and wuru enum jen wenum sa. Into contact Unique Laser Whitening. I was 079-9979-2330. 079-9979-2330. Unique Laser Whitening. Or say Muni Ses.
Mpenifo se bibi wo wiase ntine da ne atopno na ne pabone fonti e wo se wo bambo hu hia na ne papa mu de Pro Technologies ana me kan fama wo ane Pro Technologies. We are specialized in both sales and installation of CCTV cameras. Yeton esa install CCTV cameras in the Serwaa Ghana and NASA brochure na ufi Ghana. Now person CCTV camera installation. We need Pro Technologies and Nensa also. We use CCTV camera installation, electric fence, automated gate, access control, video doorbell, and intercom, and satellite TV, home theater. So upe biato, and wato, and our person install them out. Pro Technologies and our software. Na shenenso. Say fidye nyina from America brochime ndi send papam na opedia manwene ho na ne Bonsu da form meche ye know the web brochime mu ha ene branch e wo Ghana ye ni mo bra wo bre ntu sika fire nsem se fanya japade ma wo Ghana wo da na ne tenese ye say general construction so web brochire na peso si fi o Ghana e dan plan bi o peso si se wa sha se dada ana afi na peso si plan bia ye besiama eno echi so here solar power ana bamba ho nsensem bi ade woni ye ni nsawoso ne sanso ye smart home abefo fidie bi apese hye e wo fie ana watwuma mo de ma wo woni ye ni nsawoso we are just a call away ne sanso wadan de ma han ana ofre brochire bedu Ghana na wo pay full house room ana apartment ahan for short term ana long term ye be ma obiane border form na bamba ho nsem de manwene ho enna ye interior decoration so wasi fie na wie ana yesu fie na ma no yes sign decoration ye besiesie odi ana office so e dia ma no edi so tom fidie bi na wo hokun e fa so install ana ne settings ye beye e dia ma e wo Ghana wo be hu yen wo mre ofra denta e di wani a che dodowa wo be hu ye e wo ahie ye ne Emalin pharmacy e na wo the same building. For information or WhatsApp 401-7570-300 and a +401-6992-254. Pro Technologies. We have the solutions for your security and home entertainment needs at affordable prices.